That's what it looked like. Like they about to rob some shit.
Hey, still, it's not a stick up. It's not a robbery. We just coming to get Game 6. But we'll talk about how the Pacers are gonna steal Game 6 or just take Game 6 from OKC. But before we do that, you guys see the title of the show. Is this the start of a dynasty for the Oklahoma City Thunder? We got to talk this through, y'all, because obviously they're one game away. Obviously, as we all know, they have one of the youngest teams in the league, and they're going to be the second youngest team to win a championship if they do so. And not only are they young, they're also pretty good. So chill, Capers, Mars, all signs are pointing towards them being a dynasty.
Didn't we say the same thing? I mean, I know I did. I mean, you guys can straighten me out. I thought that Milwaukee was set up to go on a run when they traded for Drew Holiday. Middleton was still in his prime. Giannis was in year 8, and he was in best power forward in NBA history talk. He wasn't even 30 years old. He was like 26 or something like that. That didn't work out because of injuries. Then Joker, they ended up winning the NBA championship. I thought that they were going to make a run. I knew that Golden State was over. I thought that was the last dance for them in 22. I think that was the time that they could have upgraded that unit. With Joker and Jamal Murray, I mean, they look like the best two-man tandem in the game. We were getting Kobe Bryant and Shaq comparisons between those two guys, and they had Aaron Gordon on the cheap, and MPJ still young. They looked like they were going to make a run and be around for a long time. And Minnesota ended up shutting the door on that. And then last year, this season, they ended up succumbing to injuries. This Boston Celtic team, I'm on record saying that I thought they were going to win the NBA championship again this year. And injuries have thwarted them. We're going to see a completely different Boston team. This Oklahoma City team, as young as they are set up to be that. But circumstances have thrown a monkey wrench in just about every last one of these other teams. I think the only difference between this Oklahoma City team and the other teams is that they were younger. But in terms of them being set up to win it, I mean, they all were set up to win it multiple times, and there were other factors that got thrown into that. And I don't think I'm going to see a repeat champion this decade. I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm going to see a repeat champion this decade.
Thoughts, fellas, on what Chill said?
I mean, he's got a point. It's tough, bro. It's tough to go back to back, but I think OKC, they could be a dynasty. They got their young core locked up, and J-Dub and Chet are about to get extensions. Everybody's still super young, and they're doing this. They're the second youngest team to make the finals, right?
Yeah, and win it.
And the second youngest 1 seed beating the team last year. I mean, they could do it. It's going to be tough, though. It's not easy to just win in the NBA. A lot of things can happen, whether it's injuries or different players get traded to different teams, and then they become the newest contender. So he got a point, though. I hope OKC could do it, but let's just get one first, though.
Cape's still nervous, Ron. Okay, Cape
know he's nervous.
Blood pressure's still up a little bit. He's still on the fence. He hasn't jumped in. I'm already over the fence. This thing is over. I think it's done.
It's going to be tough. Thursday night is going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Mars, thoughts?
I'm basically with Chill. Every champion, bar the Warriors of the 2020s, has been called the next dynasty. Even the Lakers were like, oh, they're going to repeat. And then obviously Solomon Hill did what he did to LeBron. Anthony Davis got hurt. Then 21, the Bucks. It was like, oh, the Bucks, how you going to stop this team? Giannis the best player in the world, blah, 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 blah. Then they lost. Then the 22 Warriors won. Everyone was like, okay, well, that's the end of that dynasty. Like, congratulations. Mm-hmm. That's a great bookend to this dynasty. 23, the Nuggets
except
won.
The Warriors, Mars.
Yeah, except they were just the end to their dynasty. They weren't the start of anyone. They were the end to theirs. Yeah, then the 23 Nuggets win. The 23 Nuggets win is out. Jokic is the best player in the world. How you gonna stop them? Jamal Murray, playoff rise. And then they haven't got past the second round in the last 2 years. And then last year, Boston won. And it was like, oh, this team, they played the analytics game perfectly. They shoot 53s a game. you're not going to be able to stop this team with all this versatility. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, Derek White. They did it without Porzingis in the playoffs last year. Now imagine they have Porzingis back. This is going to be a dynasty. Then obviously they just lost in the second round. Jason Tatum just tore his Achilles. Now we're not hearing much dynasty talk about Boston. This year, OKC dominated regular season, go through the playoffs. I mean, through most of the playoffs, it was a lot of people were still doubting their ability to even win the championship. In the finals, a lot of people were still doubting their ability to win the championship. Now they might win the championship. It's like, oh, is there another dynasty? I feel like instead of just talking about what's happening right now, we're very early to just try and project the future. Like maybe OKC rattle off 4 championships in 7 years. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. But like we should just talk about this for what it is, the potential to win 1 championship. And then we'll talk about that this year they've had, praise it as it should be praised, instead of having to project, oh, how many more championships are they going to win? It's like we're so quick to try to be on to the next thing that we don't even appreciate the current thing. Like we're not even talking about what does this 1 championship mean for Oklahoma City, a team that has only had a franchise for 16 years, haven't been to the finals more than once. It was 2012 and now this time. They might win their first ever championship. And we're talking about, oh, how many more are they going to win? Like, can we talk about the first one? Can we talk about what this means for that franchise first before trying to project 5 more?
We always look at it like that, Mars, because we've seen it already. So, for example, when Shaq and Kobe won it in 2000, the idea, all right, these dudes going to be around for a long time. Not thinking about how good Shaq was at that particular time. Not thinking about Kobe Bryant as good as he was in the playoffs. Like, how long can these guys do it? How long are these guys going to be around? Rewind back to 91 with the Chicago Bulls. Okay, these guys are the next ones up to be around for a long time, because I think that's what we've been used to seeing when we saw the Celtics, Lakers, Celtics, Lakers, 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 Celtics. These guys are in the NBA championship every year. So when we have these teams, instead of looking at who the Oklahoma City Thunder is, Capes, I'm sitting there watching this game on Monday night thinking to myself, oh, shit, Oklahoma City's going to win the NBA championship.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking to me. This ain't the Lakers. This ain't the Celtics. Oklahoma City's going to win the NBA championship. Instead of thinking about, yo, what's next? No, I'm thinking they got a dynamic player. They got an awesome, legit number 2 who I was wrong about. I didn't think that he was there yet in terms of being a solid number 2 on a championship team. Turns out he is that. Not only that, you got a dynamic big in Chet who's getting better. We hope he's not made of glass. We hope he's able to hold up. So naturally, the thing is, well, can they do it again? Instead of marveling at what's going on right now. I think that's the natural process, Miles.
I think it's a stupid process.
Penn, what do you think the Thunder's chances are to be a dynasty?
Very good. I think it's very good. Look, as somebody who has taken some time to smell the flowers, so to speak, on this OKC team, someone who has been marveling and appreciating what this team has done all year, someone who's been marveling and appreciating what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's been doing all year, I'm here to tell you.
Someone who's a real OKC fan.
You're the one who brought Penn is the one who brought the Kobe SGA thing to us. He was the one who started that.
Now everyone's talking about it. Okay, I'm going to say this. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. That's how this team is set up. You look at the championships you're bringing up, Nikola Jokic, aging roster, older guys, close to 30, right? A lot of guys who contributed to that championship were past 30 or close to 30. This entire team is getting better in real time. We're watching them get better from game to game. They're not supposed to be here. They're not supposed to be here. Teams this young are not supposed to win in a league this competitive, but they are. And they are because of their culture, because of their talent, and because their overwhelming gap in terms of, like, what is a dynasty? What creates a dynasty? It's the margin of error. That's really what it is. The Chicago Bulls were clearly the best team. They weren't kind of the best team. They weren't, oh, well, if Dennis Rodman, strains his hammy, they're not the best team anymore. No, they're like, you're going to need some health, obviously. I'm not saying like Shai could have a career-defining injury and this will all still be good. But I'm just saying, Chet's going to get a lot better. This is his 2nd year. J-Dub, this is his 3rd year. These guys are on their rookie contracts, and they're outperforming dudes who are seriously like throughout this playoffs, who are playoff veterans, who are, proven commodities in the playoffs. How much better is this team going to be at the end of the finals than they were at the beginning of the playoffs? Think about it.
Well, the age and roster thing, I mean, more times than not, teams are like, for example, this Denver Nuggets team you talk about. I mean, KCP, he was the oldest. I think he was turning 30 that season, if not 30. He was turning 30 that season. But Joker, 28 in his prime. That's right around where Jordan was when he started, right? James was 27 when he won his first one, right? I think Dwayne Wade was 28. So that's right around. Aaron Gordon was 28. Jamal Murray was 26. MPJ was 25. I mean, in terms of the age, I mean, this team wasn't really that old. In fact, they were entering their prime. I feel like the same thing was going on in Milwaukee, with the exception of Drew Holiday was the elder, but Giannis was what, 26?
Brook Lopez was old.
I think Brook Lopez was 29.
Chris Middleton was not really all of that young either.
No, well, Chris Middleton in 2000, I think he was in year 10, so I want to say he was 31. That was the year that Olajuwon won his first championship. He was 31. Yeah, he won his first championship. Right?
Yeah, but chill though. Like, with all due respect to Chris and Brook Lopez, they not Hakeem though.
No, they're not.
And on top of that, that wasn't the start of a dynasty for Hakeem. Hakeem was already on the other side. These dudes are all like their careers is just starting.
Well,
they flowers is just budding. Chill.
Sure,
they ain't even bloomed yet.
Right, but if you think about,
it's the youngest team in the league, damn near.
Yeah,
not damn near. They are the youngest team in the league.
And
they would be the youngest team to win in almost 50 years. Chill.
Yes,
like that's ridiculous to be this young and this good.
Mm-hmm. Since the 77 Blazers, no doubt. I'm not gonna argue that point. But I feel like with Oklahoma City being the exception, I mean, is this now the rule now where teams are gonna try to get younger, or are we living in a space with what Orlando did, where Orlando recognizes that the door in the Eastern Conference just flew open, and we're close to winning it, so we can make a move to get to the top. And don't get me wrong, Penn, you do need some things to go your way, right? I can't just be good. I need some luck on my side, whether it's an injury, whether it's the Boston Celtics not shooting the basketball as well as they can. I need some things to go my way, sure, but I'm trying to set myself up because in the East in particular, I mean, I feel like the door's just flown open, and we may have the 8th different champion. Even if we do have to go up against Oklahoma City, how many different teams have we seen in the East that we have to go through now?
Whatever they do, they just can't do it. Whatever any other team does, they can't do it just because of the result from OKC this year. Like the copycat thing doesn't work.
So you've been on that. Mind your yard. You've been on that. Mind your own yard.
You got to do what's best for your organization and how your organization is set up. You can't just be like, oh, OKC was the second youngest team, or I don't know if they're younger than the Portland Trailblazers, but whatever. They're super young, so we need to get rid of all our old dudes and just get a bunch of kids. Like that's not.
Yeah, chill. And even to that point though, chill.
Yeah.
Like even if that was your goal to try to get as young as possible, you're not gonna like. I don't want to say OKC got lucky, but you know how hard it is to get better as you get younger. Like that's typically not what happens. When you get younger, you get projects and you have to develop these kids. So it's OKC just did a phenomenal job.
They also did that. They went through the development process. They won.
Right.
They haven't been good for 5 years.
Like, they did.
Well, but you like to get a second-year Chet and a third-year J-Dub, that's like
second-year
case. You don't do that. Just does not happen like that.
Yeah.
Like you can try to make it happen. Everybody tries to make it happen. What year is Paulo?
Third, right?
His third year.
He's going into his fourth year.
What year is Franz?
Going in year 4.
The year 8.
So everybody tries to hit back to back. How many people are successful hitting back to back in the draft? It just, and then you have to win the lottery too. More than likely, like OKC, they got the 2nd overall pick. The Magic, they got the number 1 pick. But even with Franz, he was drafted later. Like you just typically don't hit like that. And OKC did.
Yeah, the draft is a crapshoot. Like I think 6 out of 10, they're not gonna be who you think they are, right? Or you're gonna have injuries. You know, we've seen that a lot. So I'm just saying, like with this team, they're just opening up their window. I think about everything in terms of championship windows. A lot of teams that didn't win a championship had a window. Barkley's, Suns had a window. Malone and Stockton had a window.
Sure.
Right. Chris Webber's Kings had a window.
Sure.
Rasheed Wallace's Blazers had a window. They just ran into Shaq and Kobe a bunch of times. So I'm saying, like, this is a team that has built itself very sustainably. There's a lot of things that they can do moving forward to improve their roster, which is not usually something that happens. When you win a championship, typically what you do is you put all your chips on the table, right? You extend your future, you trade away 6-7 years worth of draft control, whatever. No, this team doesn't just have their own picks. They got half the league's picks.
Literally.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like the optionality here is so enormous. And then you have to talk about, who's in charge. Sam Presti, Mark Daignault, their development staff, their G League program. They've just done everything right. And you know what? If it's a copycat league, good luck. Good luck trying to copy what this team did, because they did this over like a 10-year period.
And then also
Oklahoma City did that. I feel like Milwaukee did that too. I mean, I feel like they built this thing around both Giannis and Middleton. That's what they built this thing around. And they made one Giannis. He improved, because, like, as much as you talk, Penn, about putting the right pieces around guys, I do need my best players to get better. Like, we can't just be just good players. And Giannis was definitely a different player in 21 than he was in 18. He's definitely a different player in 22 than he was in 19. Well, I think the same goes for SGA, because as good as Sam Presti is at getting J-Dub, who I think is interesting, because I was laughing when you talked about the draft being a crapshoot. So you think Washington screwed up passing on J-Dub for Johnny for Johnny, what's his name? Johnny, what the hell is that guy's name?
Oh God.
Anyway, but what I'm saying is that,
damn, Johnny,
Washington alone, man.
with the amount of picks that you have, these picks definitely help build my unit. But I clearly have stars. SGA is my star. J-Dub is my star. Chet is my star. This is the foundation of my unit. These guys have to improve. These guys have to get better. I can't just continue to just pick guys when these guys aren't panning out. That's not going to work. And to your point about that window isn't open long. I mean, sure, Oklahoma City, they end up bagging SGA, but over the last 3 years, they've become something really viable. Now, can I say 3 years ago, did I have Oklahoma City winning the NBA championship? Cape, I'm lying to you if I said 3 years ago, this team winning the NBA championship.
You didn't have them winning the championship this year, Cho.
I did not. No, I did not.
So that's my point.
No,
like I think a lot
so
of
you got to
people,
win it next year?
Well,
no, I don't.
Okay, so here's the thing. A lot of people said coming into these playoffs, even after all they did this regular season, even after all the talk about, SGA, all-time guard season, all-time defense, people were like, no, they're too young. They got to go through this once. They got to take their bumps, and they did. They took their bumps and they persevered, because that's the gap. So when you take this team in a vacuum, you say play this out 10 times. They're not supposed to win this year. Maybe they don't win next year either. Maybe next year is a heartbreak, and then they win. But now you're winning when Shea is 29. Now maybe the window is a little bit shorter. Now you're like, okay, well, how's Shea going to be able to carry? Is he going to, do the Jordan Kobe thing where he ages like fine wine through his 30s? Or is he going to have a fall off at 30 that's going to take him a notch down from superstardom because he's slight of frame and maybe he has an injury? So that's what I'm saying. You're winning early. This would be like if Hakeem won in 87. Right. This would be like if Jordan won in 86. And I mean, it's shit. Like, Jordan was good enough. He could be the number one player on a championship team in 86. He just didn't have the crew around him.
Sure.
So now this is where you say, Chet, J-Dub, this is sustainable. All these ancillary pieces that everyone's worried about keeping, well, you don't have to keep them. You can always move them. So in next year's draft, let's just say hypothetically they're worried about the tax bill coming up, and Case and Wallace is about to get really expensive, and so-and-so is about to get expensive. Okay, cool. We can trade Case and Wallace and 2-3 first-round picks for the third pick in the draft. Who's saying no to that? And you can restart the clock. And because you're so good at developing, you probably get valuable contributions from that player within short order. So that's just the thing. It's like, I say the draft is a crapshoot for a reason, because I was thinking about the Sacramento Kings yesterday.
Yep.
Do you realize the life of a Sacramento Kings fan? I'm sorry, I'm sorry to say this. Y'all passed on 3 All-NBA guards for Marvin Bagley. And now you had to watch back-to-back years as those guards went into the Western Conference Finals and then went to the NBA Finals. Luka, Shea, and we had to watch in 2021 Trae Young in the Eastern Conference. Was it 2021 or 2022? Trae Young in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's 3. And then you had to watch Jaren Jackson Jr. win a Defensive Player of the Year. So it's like the draft is a crapshoot because nobody on draft night could have told you that Marvin Bagley was going to be worse than all those guys. But nobody.
But with that being said, Penn, doesn't it, like you talked about, like restarting the process? I can appreciate things, and that's the problem that I have with small markets like Oklahoma City and Minnesota. Things get expensive really fast. So when I think about restarting it, there's something to be said about continuity with guys. There's something to be said about being on a crew with a guy for 4, 5, 6 years. There's something to be said about that, because now when Cason Wallace, who I've developed, by the way, over the last 2 or 3 years, and he's turning into something special. But now, because he's gotten expensive, now I got to come off of him. Now I got to bring somebody else in, and now this guy's got to mesh with what we got going on. That could be a detriment to our crew.
But that's what the Spurs did, Cho. Like when the Spurs won in '99, they were like one of the oldest teams to ever win it. They had a lot of old dudes on that team, but they restock because they do exactly what a lot of people think that what the Thunder are doing is revolutionary. It's not actually that revolutionary. The Spurs already did this. The Spurs did this. They built around a selfless superstar. They shuffled the deck around him. They found a core 3 that worked. And then they adjusted. So with this team's scouting acumen, am I going to be surprised if they find the next MVP in 2029? And then Shea builds out, and maybe as he ages, that guy comes up? No, because that's just what good organizations do. They project well, they develop well, they scout well, they treat people well, they set up a good team culture. You see how connected this team is?
Oklahoma City is. Are they turning into? Because from what it sounds like you saying, Penn, are they turning into the San Antonio Spurs? Is that what we're looking at?
They are the San Antonio Spurs. They're the closest thing to the San Antonio Spurs right now. Small market team, Midwestern kind of like area. Selfless superstar that nobody seems to respect in the league. You got a big 3 that's coming up behind him. Great coach, young coach at the time, unproven, but slowly being proven. Great track record for development, great track record for scouting. Yeah, this is the model. It works. I think when the Spurs did what they did throughout the early 2000s, there's a lot of young general managers like Sam Presti that thought this is the way. Everybody can't do what the Lakers do. Everybody can't sign Shaq. Everybody can't sign these guys. Everybody can't have those haves and have-nots. This is a league of haves and have-nots. 90% of the league is have-nots. You're not Miami. You're not LA. You're not New York. You're a have-not. You're not Boston. You're a have-not.
And I think that's why I have such a difficult time with the draft being a crapshoot, because a team like Oklahoma City, Minnesota, like we got to get it right in the draft, because nobody's coming here in free agency. We're not going to sign when Anthony Edwards' contract is up. He's not coming to Oklahoma City, right? Yeah, we're not going to. Giannis, when his contract is up, he's not coming to sign in Oklahoma City. So we have to build it this way. So when you have what Oklahoma City has, when you got 68 wins, and if this crew stays together, let's just say it's the core, for example.
Yeah, how many wins?
68. I know that sounds ridiculous.
And what's the average age on this team? It's what, like
25?
24.148.
68 wins.
Right there. Hey, chill. What you do? I rest my case right there.
The thing, no, Ron, is again.
There are dudes coming out. There are dudes coming out in this draft who are older than 24.
Yes, that are
going to be drafted. Mm-hmm. That's insane.
That are older than some of these guys on the crew.
Jameer Watkins is 24.
Yes,
Jameer Watkins is pretty much the average age of the OKC Thunder.
Hey, chill. What are some like the most recent big free agency signings, maybe like the past 5, 6, 7 years?
So Leonard was a free agent signing with the Clippers. He didn't get traded there. He signed there.
Right. Okay.
Let's see.
Kyrie and KD, right?
Kyrie and KD with Brooklyn. Sure.
That was fire when they did that.
Yeah. A guy just signing with the
LeBron.
Team. Yeah, James with the Lakers. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Those years ago. And if you think about where these teams are, like he ended up Kawhi Leonard ended up leaving $40 million on the table to go play in Los Angeles. He left all that bread on the table, even though it was set up for them to win it. He left all that bread on the table to go play in Los Angeles. James left Cleveland in a championship situation. It was just in the finals the year before to go play in Los Angeles, right?
So did Durant.
Well, Durant had rabbit ears, but he went to New York, which is a bigger market.
He
than
still
what was
got
going
rabbit
on.
ears. But chill. In the last 8 years, if those are the only, and I know we probably could dig in and find some more, but that's 4 signings in the last 8 years. So I mean, from what like you keep like you've said multiple times, it's a small market team. We're not signing no free agents. It sounded to me like ain't nobody signing no free agents.
Well, yeah, but in fairness, it's not just free agency.
New York
anymore.
ain't got nobody. Miami ain't got nobody.
But Ron,
the Lakers signed one.
It's not just free agency.
Dallas ain't got nobody.
It's not just free.
Brunson turned out to be a bigger deal.
Houston,
Jalen Brunson is a huge deal.
Jalen Brunson's a huge deal, but at that time, that was like, I'm not gonna say it was a pebble getting thrown, but it was.
I'm on record saying that they overpaid for him. I was like $100 million for him. Wow, I thought they overpaid for him. Turns out they got him on the cheap.
So that counts. Chill. I'm thinking about because at the time it wasn't looked at as like a big signing. You know what I'm saying? It was so that's all I was thinking.
But chill, you're ignoring the new way of acquiring stars, which is no longer really free agency. It's pre-agency,
which is
what the Raptors just did with Brandon Ingram. What the Warriors just did with Jimmy Butler. There's been so many examples. What the Indiana Pacers did with Pascal Siakam, what the New York Knicks did with OG Anunoby, because you don't have cap space.
You mean like close? Sure. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm sorry. So, Penn, you're saying the pre-agency is when you trade somebody
at the deadline,
exactly
their at the deadline, so you retain their bird rights because you can't sign them outright because you're already an overcapped team. There are very few teams that actually operate with cap space. Very few, because a lot of guys just end up re-signing with their own teams, or a team that has a guy they already know from their agent they're not coming back, so they'll just trade them like on the deadline before to the team they actually want to go to. It's what's happening with KD right now. Mm-hmm. KD has given the Phoenix Suns, these are the 3 teams that I want to go to. And those teams are the ones that are going to try to trade for him. And if you're not going to trade for him, you're trading for a rental because he's just going to go to that team anyway, or he's going to force his way out the deadline. So it's pre-agency. This is the player control.
I don't want to derail the conversation, but that super chat that you just had up, Ron, I literally just had a conversation and I had asked the question, and I don't think that they would do it because Washington ain't that dumb. But would you come with if
you mean that Washington's not that dumb?
I don't think they're that dumb. And I asked the question because
what makes this dumb?
This is what this was the conversation was about Austin Reeves, and I said that if you are the Lakers and you can't pay Austin Reeves, would you call up Washington and ask for Alex Saw for Austin Reeves? Would they do it?
No, not for Austin Reeves. No,
I wouldn't do it neither.
But Dylan Harper's a different commodity. He's the 2nd overall pick. Mm-hmm. He's valued as a very, very, very good prospect.
Is he better than Austin Reeves today? Because there's guys coming to draft who are better than other guys.
Chill, it's not about today with Dylan Harper. It's about what you're projecting he's going to be, and it's about it being the number 2 pick. I don't think this would be a bad trade for either team.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would do it.
I ain't doing it. So
if I'm the Spurs, I mean, I get to pair 2 Frenchmen. You guys are 2. I'm thinking of camaraderie things. You guys are both from France. You speak the same language, from the same territory, but also too, I can see Wemby playing with Sarr because now Wemby gets to do all his stuff he wants to do on the perimeter. Sarr gets to play more of a traditional role, but then also, they're both Sarr's, he plays a little bit on the perimeter too. I can see them working around each other. They're both mobile bigs, both very good defensively. If I'm the Spurs, I would consider it.
Ron, if I'm Washington, I'm hanging the phone up. Alex Sarr.
Washington hangs the phone up.
Yeah,
he's my franchise player. I'm building my unit around
Alex Sarr is a franchise player.
Yeah,
as of right now,
I think, and I'm on record saying
as of right now,
defensively, I think he's going to be Rudy Gobert good.
All right,
that's how I think that's how good I think he's going to be. I'm not handing him over. You got to give me something substantial for me to hand him over. But I want to get back to what you were talking about, Penn, when you were talking about when you were just talking about the draft and you were talking about the model in terms of building it. I think that it works. The injury stuff is what I'm worried about. And again, the money is the biggest issue with me. I can appreciate your logic, Ben, about the draft in a place like Oklahoma City, who gets it right more times than not in terms of the draft. They definitely get it right. But
Chill, I want to ask you, do they get it right or do they make it right?
That's how you get it right. You make it
no
right.
What I'm saying is we often assume, and I've been covering the draft for many years now, there's a lot of players that I wish had gone somewhere else. And you hear the stories of these players and they'll be like, oh, nobody was really talking to me. My development was kind of derailed by this and that. DeJounte Murray was just on the pivot yesterday talking about the Pelicans organization being unable to get gym time, you know, the facilities. We've seen Desmond Bain, you know, when he showed up to Orlando, he's just like, man, I'm seeing light for the first time. This training facility is amazing. We had a terrible training facility in Memphis. Talk about team culture, you talk about camaraderie, you talk about veterans in the locker room. A lot of these kids get drafted and they're set up to fail. And then, you know, people make videos 3-4 years later saying, oh, this guy didn't work hard enough and this guy was a bum. These are 18-year-old kids. Their prefrontal cortex has not even been fully developed. They're 7 years away from becoming like fully functional adults. Even if you want them to be millionaires right now, you're handing a person who has no guidance in this situation. And I'm not trying to take the player's onus away. You definitely are in charge of your own life and you got to make good decisions.
Sure.
But at the same time, am I going to blame Jahlil Okafor for failing in the process Sixers? Not really. Not really. I mean, I think a lot of people will be really depressed coming to work every single day, knowing my team trying to lose games every day. I'm just saying, when the Oklahoma City Thunder drafted Jalen Williams, that was a good thing for Jalen Williams. There's a reason why they're so successful with these players.
But
because
it was also keep going. I'm sorry, keep going.
But even when Chet had his injury, his Liz Frank injury, I was talking to someone in OKC, and I don't know, Capers, you could probably co-sign this if you know more. I don't know, because you cover the OKC Thunder, but they were meeting with him every single week to keep him engaged, right? They were having breakfast with him. The head coach is having breakfast with him. You hear the story of Austin Reeves talking about, you know, getting traded to the New York Knicks, and Tibbs is like, I wanted Derrick Rose instead. Shit, like, you know what I mean? So how you treat these players, like, it's very easy if you're a head coach and you got a roster to manage, be like, this guy's on the shelf for a year, forget it, I'm not talking to him. But meeting with him every week to reinitiate him, to be teaching him the game, to be still doing the work with him every single week, the head coach, not the trainer, not the third assistant coach, no, the head coach meeting with him. That's how great organizations are done. And, you know, it brings me back to the DeJounte Murray, you know, when he talked about Greg Popovich, right? How Pop set the orders. He said when his mom was shot, it was Pop who called his mom and said, I'm flying you from Seattle to San Antonio on my dollar. That's how you show a player you care. So, you know, again, I've seen a lot of players fail. I've seen a lot of players succeed in this situation. The ones who succeed typically have a good environment for success.
And Penn, wouldn't a place
hold on, right quick, Penn, because I would like to hear from Ox, and I would definitely like to hear from Real Talk since he has things to say today.
That's not even what I say.
Was that what you was even talking about, Real Talk?
Nah, that's not even what I was talking about, man.
Nah, but either way it goes, though, I want to hear from you guys on how you feel about OKC potentially being a dynasty in the making. And then also, chat, we are going to list off the top 3 teams that we believe have the most chance or the biggest possibility, in our opinion, to win at least 2 championships in the next 5 years. So that'll be the next segment we'll get into. But before we get there, Ox, Real Talk, OKC, Dynasty, are you guys seeing this or are we tripping?
Go ahead, Real Talk.
Well, first off, we gotta kind of define what a dynasty is, right? So are we talking about, you know, 3 championships in 4 years? Are we talking about a Spurs kind of dynasty where it's every other year or like very competitive for a very long time? For me, I think they can get like 2 and 3, in my opinion, and I will consider that a little dynasty. So
kind of like
I do think they're
Heatles.
Yeah, the Heatles. I can see that. They're set up to do it. I know we kind of do this every year with whoever wins the championship. Everybody did this with the Bucks. We didn't do it with the Warriors, but we definitely did it with the Nuggets. What's up?
Let's get to the bottom of what exactly the Webster's Dictionary definition of dynasty is: a powerful group that maintains its position for a considerable time. That's the definition of a dynasty.
In the NBA, a considerable time is 5 to 6 years in the NBA.
Okay.
That is a considerable
Webster.
time.
Could we say championship favorites for 6 years? Would that be enough? Even if you only win 4, like the Miami Heat, they were championship favorites almost every single year. Is that a dynasty? I don't know. The Lakers.
Well, would 4 years be a considerable amount of time for what they did?
I mean, if you win 4 out of 6,
you win
and you
4
were favored every
championships,
single
that's
year,
pretty
I call you a dynasty.
4 out of 6 is a dynasty, no matter how you get it.
If you go 3 out of 6, you're a dynasty. In my eyes.
In my eyes, if you win one if you win one every other year for 6 years, that's a dynasty. If you win 2 out of 6, they got to be back to back. To me, in my eyes.
So what if you're terrible one year? What if you're terrible one of those years? That's still okay.
Like if I win one terrible, win one dynasty.
I think the reason why we consider
gotta maintain.
Wait, hold on, Pin, because I wasn't done answering the question anyway, and you've talked a lot.
Yeah, man, y'all stop being rude.
Yeah. What I was saying was, I do think that getting to the finals 4 or 5 years, you know what I'm saying, maybe winning 2 or 3. I do think that is a dynasty, and I do think they're set up to do it. They're the youngest team. And again, I know we do this with every championship team, but I do think they're the best set up to do it. They're a young team. They still have players that are really good now that can still get better, like J-Dub. Hell, I don't even know if SJ, this is the best version of SJ that we've seen yet. So,
yeah,
and then on top of that, their best comp probably in the East will be, down for a year in Boston. So I got them at least going back to back. I do have, well, all things considered, because we do have a lot of moving parts. That apparently it's going to be one of the busier off seasons in quite some time. But as far as everything right now, I do kind of have OKC going back to back. So that's a good start to the
I don't really
see. Can you say that again?
Yeah, they're going back to back. Yeah.
Thank you, bro. Oh man.
Okay.
Y'all want me to put you? I'm not sure. You guys go. Look, y'all can sit next to each other. I feel better.
I'm not sure, just because. So if I look at how good this team is playing right now, and like the age and everything of their core group, even the age of their supporting group, I would say just based on that, if I'm only looking tunnel vision, only based on this team, I could say, yeah, I think this team is going to be competitive for the next 5 years, right? But then if I do that and I look at Houston, San Antonio, Detroit, even with the Lakers getting Luka, and the Lakers are going to try to make more moves. Just teams like that. The Knicks are still that core group. They're still a good age. I would say that it's highly unlikely that this team wins multiple championships in the next 3 to 4 years. And that's not a knock to them. I think that just shows that there's quite a few teams, including like Orlando, who just made a move. There's quite a few teams that have been not quietly building, but have been building. And I think OKC just kind of accelerated a little bit. I think SGA, took a major leap before some of the other stars like Paolo, maybe, and maybe Jalen Green hasn't got to the level where a lot of us thought he was going to be. So I could see a lot of these young teams, especially San Antonio, becoming a threat and even better than this team. I think we got to watch out for San Antonio very closely this year.
I was just going to ask you, because what's kind of been happening too is there's a team that quietly starts like putting pieces together to specifically beat the champion. So we saw it with Minnesota, with Denver. Like a lot of people didn't like that Rudy Gobert trade at first, right? But then you run into the champs like Denver, and then having double big lineups, all of a sudden having all that size to guard Jokic and still be solid on the back end against Aaron Gordon. That turned out to be the difference maker for the Celtics this year. The New York Knicks basically tried to get a roster to beat them. You know what I'm saying? So what teams do y'all see kind of constructing to beat OKC, or do you even see one right now?
San Antonio.
Rockets too. San Antonio and the Rockets.
San Antonio damn near got the most pieces to do it, to move around and do it, bro.
Yeah, but
Especially if they end up getting KD.
Like if you're pairing De'Aaron Fox and Steph Castle and potentially Dylan Harper, I don't see a lot of shooting in that backcourt. So as good as you think Victor Wembanyama can be, I think maybe you need to parlay some of these young pieces to get like a win now piece, because you don't know 7'5" Victor Wembanyama already had a huge health scare in his life. You don't know how long this is going to be a viable thing.
So Penn, if they get KD,
that would be a great move.
If they get KD, would they still need to move Castle or something for a shooter, or what would you say then?
I just don't like the idea of playing two poor shooters together. I definitely don't like the idea of playing three.
Yep, I got you.
And it's not like Victor Wembanyama is Dirk Nowitzki out there either. So that's 4. So he could take them on high volume and high complexity, but he's not making them at a high volume. So you need spacing for sure.
I just think he's not making threes at a high volume.
Okay, try to listen to what I just said. Making threes, I don't care about the volume. Talking about efficiency, he's not Dirk. So he can take them at a high volume. He's not making them at an elite efficiency.
So if you shoot a lot, just because you shoot a lot.
Didn't he shoot like 38% on like?
He was at 36% this year, 37% after the slow start to the year, high volume.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, you started the statement with you don't want multiple poor shooters out there, and then you group Twemby into that, which I think is why you
shot 35%. League average was 37%. So you can take the volume. He's not Dirk Nowitzki, is my general point. We don't need to.
He absolutely provides spacing, but I mean, yeah, he's not Dirk. You are correct.
Yes, I'm saying he.
Nobody's Dirk.
Big.
Yeah,
I
it's because you
understand
started the statement with poor shooters. I'm just letting you know why the pushback happened.
Yeah, before we even go down,
and then you said Wemby, that's 4. That's what you said.
Before we even go down this route,
that is what he said.
I'm about to bring it back because I want to talk about the Rockets, another team that I don't know if they can get better than the Thunder. I don't know when they'll be better than the Thunder, if they could be better than the Thunder, but I do believe that this is another young, upcoming, scary team that potentially can give the Thunder problems in the next 5 years. Now, once again, we don't know. The Rockets, I think they have more of they have to make a bigger splash than the Thunder do. The Thunder can just keep their core as it is and keep rolling, you know. The Rockets got to add some talent, or somebody has to take a major step forward. Jalen Green, Tari Eason, Jabari. But with that being said, we know this is a young team that's focused on defense, or they have a good defensive unit. They have young studs. They got Amin Thompson. They got, we can reel off the roster. They got vets over there too. I think this might be a team that may be able to give OKC a run for their money in the next 2 to 4 years.
Well, they got to get. I'm trying to think. I'm conflicted about Houston because these great defensive teams have a really high ceiling. That's kind of what we've seen this year. So as like Orlando, the Rockets. I mean, the Rockets basically couldn't score in the half court and won like
at all.
So if they add KD, I'm as that being my second team, I want to believe they might could do it next year, maybe, if possible. But it would be a very ugly championship. I do know that it'll be good grief.
Well, if you got
we want to be talking about Houston.
KD ain't taking nobody to the championship, man.
Yeah, then would be it's Houston the dynasty. Yeah.
No, I don't think that anybody would think that Houston is a dynasty off the strength of KD.
This year, one of the youngest teams in the league, win the championship
with KD. With KD, who was 37 years old.
Yeah, with Caruso.
So I mean, I don't think that they would be.
Now y'all getting Caruso.
I don't think that I wouldn't be thinking that. No, I can tell you that right now. But I don't think that we give Houston enough credit for development, and I think that this team is getting better. And I mean, we see Jalen Green in the lab. It's not like we don't see Jalen Green in the lab. We see Jalen Green working on his game. We see Jabari Smith working on his game. I'm in the minority when I think Jabari Smith would blossom somewhere else, because I think that they got a log jam in Houston with Tari Eason, with him. They got a bunch of small forwards, which I think that's where he would be the most productive. Like, y'all love him at the 4 spot. I love him at the 3 spot. And I think he'd blossom somewhere else, and I think he'd be a really good piece that you can move for a legit scorer in the game with that Rook deal, him being cheap. But I don't think that we give these teams like Houston enough credit for development. And I think a team like Houston, like they're developing these young guys, and they don't have to worry about losing them to bigger markets because Houston is a big market. They can end up keeping these guys if they wanted to. And they can exactly what Oklahoma City is doing. They could do that in Houston. There is no real timeline because they got a bunch of young guys too. Tari, Jabari, Jalen. Don't get me wrong, Fred VanVleet's getting a little long in the tooth, and I'm not really sure what they're doing with him. But Dylan Brooks is what, 28? Like Dylan, I think, and I'm already on record. You guys fought me on this. I don't think it's 5 teams in the league Dylan Brooks can't start for. I don't think so. We ran down the teams in the league. I don't think it's, if we ran down all the teams in the league, it's not many teams that you can't start for.
Orlando. Can he start for them right now?
Boston.
I mean, anyone can start.
OKC. Hell no. He is. I don't think so.
I think he's a valuable player. I mean, however you want to define
100%. He starts in front of Case and Wallace. Yes, he does.
Case and Wallace became a starter for 2 games in the finals.
Yeah,
Case and Wallace isn't a
starter.
It's iHeart, Chet, J-Dub, Lou Dort, and Shea.
You got Shea, Dort, and Dub.
Yeah, that's their starter.
So iHeart might find his ass on the bench if Dylan Brooks go over there.
If that's what you want to do, then you have food at the rim as your starting 5. Then cool. But like maybe he could start. Like I just
would he definitely start on the Kings? Definitely.
Yeah.
He's better than Keegan Murray. Y'all can say what y'all want. He's better than Keegan Murray.
Okay.
I don't even know the Kings.
He is.
That's starting 5.
Their front court Sabonis. Keegan Murray, and Zach LaVine. That's their front court.
DeMar DeRozan.
Well, if Keegan Murray can get back to shooting 37+% from 3, he would.
Dylan Brooks was like 39%.
Controversial opinion. I think Keon Ellis is a better defender.
I do not think Keegan. I don't think Ellis is a better defender than Dylan Brooks. I think that you're looking at the theatrics. I try not to pay attention to that stuff. I think Dylan Brooks is a lot stronger. I think he's more versatile. I think Ellis is a little bit more athletic. I'm not going to argue that point.
Dylan is the theatrics, man.
That's what I'm talking about. I think that you.
No, you said I'm looking at the theatrics with Keon Ellis.
No,
I think you're looking at the theatrics with Dylan Brooks.
I think that's where it is. I think the theatrics are with Dylan Brooks, and I think that overlooks how good of a defender he actually is. How much he affects games defensively, and he can knock down open shots. Don't get me wrong; he'll do stuff like overshoot and kind of shoot his team out of the game. But I think that he's a viable piece. And back to my point about Houston, I feel like Houston is building something, and they don't have to worry about losing a free agent to the Knicks or losing a free agent to the Lakers because Houston is a big time market. It's not Minnesota or Portland where these teams are going to come. Miami's going to come pluck one of our guys away.
Where's their Shea though, Chill? Like, where's the?
Well, see, that's the thing. Real talk. I think that we go back to like the Miami Heat, for example, when I talked about they're a league guard away from really challenging. The model that Oklahoma City's building, we don't necessarily have to build it that way. We can build our team around defense, right? We can build our team around defense, continue to develop, and in the process of us developing, getting better offensively, where we can score enough, and then our defense take us home.
OKC built a team around defense and have Shea.
Right, but
and J-Dub,
who is a good defender.
Right, we
don't
went too long without praising J-Dub.
Houston built like we haven't even brought up Şengün, by the way, like or Menton,
or Reed Shepherd.
They're Houston's 2 franchise players, but
getting better. By the way,
for sure. It's just like a team built around defense, like OKC are a better defense than Houston
today, 100%.
Yeah, sure. And OKC also have Shea.
Yes.
Houston are trying to build, like, in order for Houston to compete, have to level up on defense, which I think is possible. Like, I definitely think Houston can become a better defense than they even were this year. Mm-hmm. And I think that number 10 pick could be valuable. But they don't have a Shea, and they're going to have half-court scoring issues unless they address them in free agency or through a trade with Kevin Durant or whatever the case.
How much better do you think?
You got Kevin Durant, you have to trade
Jalen Green. Got to be more consistent too.
Jalen, I don't know if Jalen Green even going to be on the team next year, but like,
oh wow,
crazy.
If Houston get KD, Jalen Green
for KD.
Yeah, if Houston get KD, Jalen Green has
what's Phoenix doing with Jalen Green?
They're trading into another team.
Exactly.
It's going to be a 3.
Yeah, he's not going to Phoenix to play. He's going to Phoenix Phoenix will use him as a like tanking teams. Hello, young player who apparently has potential. And then they'll hope that like
what is Jalen Green looking at the backcourt with LaMelo Ball?
Like
be entertaining.
It would be entertaining.
I'll be entertained. I'll say that. I'll be entertained.
I should have said LaMelo Ball because look at Ron. Ron, stop the ball.
LaMelo, Jalen, and Brandon.
I like that. I like that.
Now the team will suck, but I'll be entertained.
Hey, Damo, I'm pulling up.
I'll be watching for sure. I'll be watching, but that team will be very entertaining.
I just brought that up to your point, Mars. I do understand that they don't have a Shea, but and Joker was Shea in Denver, right? And Curry is Shea in Golden State, right? And Giannis was Shea. Well, am I expecting these guys to get better? I'm expecting Sengun to get better. I'm expecting Jalen Green to get better. And now, am I expecting him to get better to the level of Shea? I do think that at some point he's going to be an All-Pro. I don't think he's going to be Shea good. I'm not going to argue that point, Mars. No, but I do think that I do think that he can get to the level of being an All-Pro. If I can, and the same thing with Sengun. I think Sengun was on the doorstep of being an All-Pro this season too.
He was
Jalen Green.
Yeah, he was on Jalen Green.
I think Jalen Green
was a few votes away from making it this year.
Right. I think he's that good. Now, with that being said, right, and I'm not saying next year. I'm thinking in the future. I think Jalen Green could be that good, that he can be an All-Pro at some point. I do think that he can be that good. I'm not from an athletic standpoint, his ability to get to the rim, how much better he's gotten since he got there, just in the last 2 years playing for Ime Udoka, how much better he's gotten. All right, how much better he's going to be in 2 years. I can get with that. Penn, you can't tell me nothing because you tell us Scotty Barnes. You telling us Scotty Barnes is a top 10 player. I ain't listening to a word you talk to me about.
Scotty Barnes is way better than Jalen Green.
So,
can we get real?
That may be the case today. And that may be the case today because I think that
it will be the case for the rest of your. It will be the case for the rest of your life.
I think that's what's going on in Toronto in terms of development was way different than what's going on in Houston. Way different than what's going on in Houston.
Yeah,
however,
the Houston Rockets are trying to win.
Doing something. Houston,
if Jalen Green's good stretches became more consistent, he has the potential to make an All-NBA team.
100%.
It's not like Jalen Green hasn't shown flashes of All-NBA potential. It's just about can he put them together.
That's Mars, I'm getting sick of you. Either be on the train or get off the train.
You didn't even let me finish my statement. Am I betting on that being the outcome?
No.
But do I think Jalen Green, like we've seen Jalen Green be damn near the player of the month in the NBA. We've seen Jalen Green be the player of the week multiple times in the NBA. We've seen Jalen Green put together stretches where he's damn near the leading scorer in the NBA. If those stretches became more sustainable, yes, he has all NBA potential. I would not bet on that potential at this point because I think we've seen 4 years of it just not being sustainable.
2 years now, where we're actually in a
2 years of real basketball. The first 2 years, I do feel like that sabotaged his development and a lot of people on that team.
Yeah, forget that.
But I still don't think if Chill's willing to be optimistic and say the good stretches of Jalen Green are sustainable, I don't think it's not based on nothing. Like it's not based on nothing. Is all I'm saying. It's not like he's just grabbing out of thin air. Like, hey, Killian Hayes, all NBA. Like he's taken someone who has tangibly put together stretches of all NBA performance and is saying,
what year is Jalen Green heading into?
He might be able to put that together for a season. He's going into year 5.
Okay, chill. Don't you usually have like that 5 year by year 5 rule?
By year 5, this is who you are. That's his thing.
Now, since you heard me say that, real talk, can you elaborate on what you think? I think year 5 is.
I think you say like by year 5, not saying that players can't get a little bit better or whatnot, but you just kind of know the idea of this player. Like this guy's going to be, as you would say, probably at best. 35 on a Wednesday night, at worst, 20 on a Tuesday. You kind of got the idea of who they are as a player. Not that they can't get a little better.
Young dudes, I believe y'all call it the floor. I think that's what y'all call
it.
Yeah. Like you young dudes, y'all call it the floor. Yeah, you young dudes call it the floor. That's why I think by year 5, this is probably who this dude is at this point, right? Now he's gonna get better. So Jalen Green. I think Jalen Green, I still think that there's some development there. And to Mars's point, I've seen him put stretches together where for a month and a half, if I could get not necessarily that stretch, but if I could get something similar to that for 3-4 months, we're talking about something completely different. And on top of that, when I can get it, if I can get that from March to May, and next thing you know, that translated into the playoffs, and Jalen Green is now turned into a different playoff performer. Now we're talking about something completely different. on top of how good Houston can be defensively. To your point, how much better Amin Thompson I think is going to get, because I appreciate how smart Amin Thompson is more than anything. In terms of his athleticism, I think that goes without saying. I appreciate how smart he is, how much he's going to improve as a defender. I think he's going to be able to play guys into a corner, very much like Scottie Pippen and Metta World Peace and Gary Payton, guys like that did. I think he's going to be, I think he could be that good as a defender. This Houston team, in terms of their core, though, I don't think it's ridiculous for me to think that they could be something special moving forward, because they don't have to worry about losing free agents to other big city teams, because they're a big deal.
Fellas, I'm going to step in right now and tell everybody to like the video, comment, subscribe, turn on your notification bells, and more importantly, download the PrizePicks app. Stop what you're doing and do this right now, because, well, PrizePicks has some gifts for you. Aside from it being a special place, PrizePicks is the only place that when you use promo code PANEL, you will get $50 instantly when you play just $5. So once again, I encourage you to take advantage of all the perks on the PrizePicks app, which is, Taco Tuesdays, Flex Fridays, discounted picks, and all that other good stuff. You get it only here at PrizePicks. Once again, use promo code PANEL. That will allow you to run your game, control your game, and win your game. And when you play just $5, you will get $50 back instantly. Now, obviously, we have Game 6 of the NBA Finals tomorrow night. And, well, this is what we rocking with over here at Player's Choice. $20 turns into $200 when you take Tyrese Halliburton to go more than 13.5 points. When you take TJ McConnell to go less than 10.5 points. When you take Obi Toppin just to get a dunk. When you take Aaron Wiggins to go less than 6 points. And when you take Shea to shoot less or to attempt less than 5 3-pointers. This is what we rocking with tomorrow for the NBA Finals. You guys let me know how you come in and what you take in, and ultimately make sure to download the PrizePicks app and use promo code PANEL. We'll catch you there.
Who chose these? Was it you?
I don't know. I just read it.
If
The
Halliburton
prize,
overs.
prize pick gods chosen. It was just
There you
divine
go.
intervention.
Okay. Because Halliburton.
By the way,
overs and
Ron, I saw that
I can't imagine.
a little bit of the episode yesterday. Disgusting work out of you. Absolutely disgusting work. The fact that you wanted to defend your little boo-boo boy in Indiana so bad that you invoke names like LeBron James and Nikola Jokic is disgusting.
I didn't even know
I
that's
just
what
want
you
you
was
to know
talking
that.
about. There was
What are we
so
talking
much
about?
nonsense yesterday.
When
You're
you wanted to
Halliburton.
save face
Who is
for
you?
Halliburton, you were
Oh, man.
You is me?
nah, yeah.
Nah, we
you
having
me,
our rush hour.
and
We
you.
having our rush hour scene. We having our rush hour
okay,
scene.
okay.
Have we not had enough of this?
You wanted to save Halliburton so bad that you brought up LeBron and Nikola Jokic.
Yeah,
What is
that's
wrong with you?
That's fandom. That's fandom.
I don't understand. Like, what point are you making?
He said it was disgusting. That was his point.
It was nasty.
What
you
did I
talking
do?
about? Oh, should Miami have pulled LeBron? Should the
Nah,
Nuggets have
you know
pulled
what,
Nikola
Ron?
Jokic? What
I
are
salute
what are
you.
talking
I
about?
accused you of front running earlier. Good for you. Stand on business. Continue to
all
support
I'm
your
saying is
team.
I'm not taking out our most important asset on offense, whether he's
He was not
struggling
your
or
most-
not.
he
That's
was
the
not your
point.
most
important
That's
asset
the
on offense.
that's
Hold
the
on,
that's the
why
point
not?
I'm making. That's,
Why not?
It's all
We
good,
don't need
man.
to rehash it, please.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to let you know. It was
I'm-
nasty. This
so
is-
what would have happened if they would have took him out the game
Oh,
once again
no.
in game one? What would have happened if against
Oh,
the
he gonna take
Cavaliers
game
when
one.
they was what would have happened?
I'm sorry.
Maybe someone else would have hit the game winner.
is that
probably
your
the way that game
ringtone? Chill?
I don't know what kind of.
I ain't heard
I
that
don't know.
ringtone since '99, Joe. That's '99 ringtone. That's great.
That's that on the
I
I didn't know I had to.
I haven't
I
heard my
apologize.
own ringtone.
Okay, first of all, I didn't know I had to be cool. Answer the damn phone. Why does it have to be some extracurricular shit? Just the phone ringing. What's the problem? My fault. I thought I turned that off. I apologize.
Oh, chill,
You
man.
brought me back
So
to my childhood
professional.
with that
Oh,
one.
I thought I turned my ring off. I apologize. My
Sure, you know what's funny? You know who old ass got the same ringtone as you? Big Ox. Y'all was made for this show right here. Okay. You guys are a match made in heaven. All right. You guys make sure to tap in to chill with chill and support. Okay. Make sure when Chill with Chill comes on, you turn off your ringtones as well. Also, tomorrow we will be on Playback. You guys already know the drill. Pin, you pulling up?
Sure.
Let's do it. Mars, you pulling up?
We'll see about that.
For the
All right,
NBA championship, Mars? Come on.
Well, you guys just make sure to pull up. Don't follow in Mars's footsteps. Be punctual, and we'll see you there.
Hey Ron, that's what I was thinking when Real Talk was like, "What's ringtone is that?" I was like, "Damn, I thought that was a cool ringtone."
Oh, you thought your phone was ringing?
You know what? I'm gonna change that to my ringtone today. That y'all have motivated me to do that. That's dope. That's dope.
The phone ringing. When you hear that ring, what do you think?
The phone is ringing.
There you go. That's it. Ain't that what the phone is for?
1996.
Make sure I ain't bugging out. Phone's ringing. Go ahead to the
Plastic
phone.
on the sofas.
Hey, that was 90
Corded phones.
You had to be there.
Phone's ringing.
All right, y'all. Well, I asked you guys a question, and the question was: give me your top 3 teams that you believe have the highest chances of winning at least 2 championships in the next 5 years. I'm pretty sure that everybody has OKC in their top 5, right?
Including this year, right? So,
You said 5 or
yeah.
3?
Next 5.
We got to
right?
give you 5 teams or 3 teams.
No, 3 teams.
3 teams.
don't
in
count
the next
this year.
5
Though,
years.
Don't count this year. 'cause
Don't
that's
count.
too
All
easy.
right. So this
No,
year,
count it, Ox. Count it. Count
well,
it. Don't-
you would have to put the
Ox,
Pacers in
count
there
it.
if you're gonna count this year. You know,
We could do that. We could do that.
But-
could do
No,
that.
you win it, Ron. No, you win it.
let's go ahead and kick it off. Capers, you go ahead and kick it off for us. Who you got?
All right. I got Oklahoma. I got the Spurs because I like how the Spurs' future could be set up. And I actually do have the Pacers. I do have the Pacers now. They will be my last choice, but I do have them on there. I feel like OKC, for obvious reasons, they're super young. They already are in the title right now. Their core is locked up. They're only going to get better. These guys aren't in their prime. But San Antonio, though, they got Fox, Castle, Wemby. They could get Dylan Harper. They could possibly get Durant. I mean, bro, how could you not put them in as a title favorite for the next couple of years? And then the Pacers, man, the Pacers just have a good all-around deep team. So I could really see them making noise out east. But they would be my last choice out of the 3, though. So that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, real talk.
Okay.
Who you got?
Obviously OKC.
I feel like everybody should just skip OKC because it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
All right,
No, we got to go.
Oh,
But come on, go ahead. Go ahead. No,
I'll say
go
the
ahead.
Mavs then. I'll say the Mavs then if I skip OKC then.
And also, are we
Again,
are we
there's a
including
lot
this
of
year
there's a lot of
or
movement.
next year onward?
I think we should go next year onward, Pink.
All right, we
Okay,
go
cool.
next
Next
year.
year onward.
Okay.
There's a lot of moving pieces, like I said earlier, on the rosters. But if I were to go off what we know today, I actually have Orlando number 2. I feel like Orlando got really good with Desmond Bain, and I don't think people like really understand what just occurred, because a lot of people think that they overpaid for him, which may be true. They did give up a lot to get Desmond Bain, but I think that kind of ball handler and shooter at the 2-guard position for them, especially if everybody's healthy, can maybe finally take them to being a good team on both sides of the court. They've been a really good defensive team now for a few years, but I just like all of that aggregate skill and ball handling and playmaking and passing that they now have. When you have Jalen Suggs, Desmond Bain, Franz, and Paulo, that's your 1 through 4. That's a very good offensive. That's very good offensive personnel. And I hope that they can keep Mo. A lot of people saying that they'll get up off him to avoid the second apron, but to me, if you're already clearly going for giving up that much for Desmond Bain, I think they need to just go ahead and keep their best center on their roster, in my opinion. And then after Orlando, I got to stand on Laker business. I mean, we got Luka Doncic. You know what I'm saying? We got Luka Doncic. You know what I'm saying? Next 5 years, LeBron
He's been on the
retired. We open up
Stairmaster.
another Supermax slot. Ain't no telling who we might get. You can look crazy all you want to.
Bron gonna
It's
be there for the
LA
next
town.
5
It's
years,
title
though, real
town,
talk.
baby. What
He's
you mean?
always been on the Stairmaster pen. That ain't the problem. It's just he's off the beer. He's off the others. He's off the hoop.
So
He's off
you
the
saying
other
he was
stuff.
on the Stairmaster while chugging
Yeah,
them down?
he's off the other
now
stuff.
he just put
That's
the,
the
now he put the
problem.
beers down.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's-
got you.
I've seen people do stuff like that before.
Yeah,
man. Like,
y'all
add
seen Luka
drink
lately?
alcohol while they work.
He look great, doesn't he, real?
Y'all
He
been
looks
seeing
great.
Luka lately?
Yeah, he looks
Yeah,
great.
we coming with it. Hey, we coming for
Yeah,
all that
but
disrespect
real-
that's been going
real-
on this offseason. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Real talk. The thing
heard
about
the
that
noise.
though is, in the next 5 years, Bron's still gonna be here. Bron ain't going nowhere, bro. We
You
can
mean
talk
45?
about talking about a max spot opening up because Bron gone. Nigga, what you mean? Bron gonna stick around to get this money.
He might be. Yeah, he might be.
Can
Ain't no
I go,
telling.
Ron?
All I
No,
know
you were
is-
actually gonna go last, but
Really quickly, real talk. If this was the mob,
All right.
Braun would
Appreciate it.
have been taken out. He would have been killed. No doubt
Why?
about it.
Bron?
Oh, wow.
Why?
Because
He's the biggest money
Conversation
maker.
of the guard.
Because in order for this, in order for the next guy to be the next guy, you gotta go.
Ron, I mean, chill. What John Gotti and them did was bad, immoral, and bad for business.
Oh,
like that.
killing
You
Frank was one of
don't
the- Frank had to go,
off
though.
your biggest money maker.
Frank had to
But
go. No doubt
My
about it.
thing, Ron, is the 3 teams I got. First of all, I'm gonna start.
Is he not listening?
What happened? Where?
Go ahead, bro.
It's not on me. Oh, my bad, my bad.
Bully Ox
So
Bob.
if you-
Go ahead.
So if you
Nah,
was,
go
if you
ahead,
was
Bully
gonna
Ox.
if you was gonna let me go, you should just let me keep going.
Nah,
So I'm
nah,
gonna start with San Antonio. I think they, obviously got high draft picks this year. I don't know if they're gonna use them. I think they're still gonna make a move. They got Victor Wembanyama. Next, I'm gonna agree with Real Talk with Orlando. I've been a huge fan of the Franz and Paolo duo for a long time now. That was actually the first video I ever dropped on my YouTube channel, was the best 5 duos of the next 5 years, and I put Franz and Paolo at number 1. But my thing is that move for Desmond Bain, I think, is very underrated, and I feel like y'all got like that finance bro friend. Like, I got a couple friends that are like, think they're finance bros, you know what I'm saying? And like, you go get a car, and they'll be like, bro, you shouldn't have did it that way. You should have leased it. You could like, this is my money, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like this, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is my money. You don't worry about
Let
my
me do
money.
my
You know what I'm
thing,
saying?
if that's okay
Yeah.
with you.
Oh, well, you're looking to buy a house. Make sure that you put it in trust. Do this. Man, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't no podcast, bro. Like, this is my money. You know what I'm saying? So,
But Ox,
that's
last
all-
week you bought that expensive ass suit. You really should have got it on Shop Pay. But that shit was fly though. But
yeah, but support my own brands. You know what I'm saying? But this my thing though. Like, I feel like the Desmond Bain move was great, and I just think people don't need to worry about how other people spend their money. And third, I'm going with the Denver Nuggets. Going with the Denver Nuggets, easy, because I mean the Denver Nuggets, they were a hamstring away from winning the championship this year.
Is it similar to Real Talk with that logic, where it's like we have Jokic? And Real Talk, just how
I think well, because when you go, I think I'm going with the Nuggets just because, like I said, they were a hamstring away from winning the championship this year, and I feel like because somebody had brought up Keon Ellis earlier, and it's like
I did.
All Denver got to do is grab one of them type dudes. You know what I'm saying?
They don't grow on trees, Ox.
I didn't say that. I don't care where they grow. You know what I'm saying? All I gotta do is find one. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't have to be Keon. I'm just talking about somebody that's cheaper, that is a great defender. You know what I'm saying? And just on the cheapest. It's not that. Either way, like, I think they just need to find another little piece. But my thing with that is, even if they didn't do that this year, they were a hamstring away from winning the championship. So you know what I'm saying? I feel like so. With that being said, I think Denver is my third pick, because I think Jokic still has enough left in the tank. They still got a good squad over there. I think they're just a couple little side pieces away. Everybody needs a side piece or two.
Facts. Anybody else want to force their way in the lineup, in the rotation?
No, you got it, coach.
Okay. Yeah, you got it.
Chill. You can't trust every coach, chill.
Sorry, who's next?
You got it, Chill.
I'm sticking to my guns. I think Cleveland's in the NBA championship next year. I had them in the Eastern Conference Finals this year. I think they're in the NBA championship next year, and I think they got a real shot at winning the NBA championship. A dark horse. A dark horse, I think, is Detroit is on their way to doing something. I think that they may upgrade at getting a scorer, but I don't think they're that far away. I think Cade comes back better next season. Isaiah Stewart, him getting hurt really hurt them because that's some defense that on their front line that they didn't have, some rebounding on their front line. I think they're going to get better next year with that. And then in the Western Conference, y'all dudes kill me for this when I say it. Y'all dudes kill me for this when I say it, but I'm on that Houston train. I love them dudes, man. I love what they're doing in Houston, man. I love it. I love the development. I think Jalen Green's going to turn into something serious. I think Sengun is at the doorstep of. We keep forgetting, what is he? 23? Yeah, he's still young, but I feel like he's on the doorstep of becoming something great. I think that offense is going to get better. Those are the three teams that I'm thinking about right now. But I am going to go out on a limb. Ox, I'm saying it, and I'm saying it today in June of 2025. Portland's making the playoffs next year.
No.
How they gonna do that?
I don't know.
Probably by winning like enough games to make playoffs.
That's usually how it goes.
Oh,
Mars.
okay. Thanks, Mars.
That's usually how it goes. Mm-hmm.
All right, Pin. Who's your three teams?
So I had a lot of questions when you sent me these topics. Does this team have a superstar? How old is that superstar or projected
Pin the
superstar?
topics, Ron? When you next time send me so I can be prepared. I'll just come up with my three just right there, Pin. My bad, dog. Keep going. My bad, bro.
Do you
send me the topics as well, just so I can just further push the knife in your back.
Sorry, you've talked a lot. I was going. Cool. So,
I'm gonna let you have that one.
do you have good coaching? Do you have a good coaching staff that I trust in? Do you have good draft picks going forward, or have you parlayed all of them away? How's your scouting, track record over the last 5-6 years? Do you unearth gems in the undrafted heap like Keon Ellis? Do you win on the margins? Your culture, your development. Indiana, good culture. San Antonio, good culture. OKC, good culture. I think culture is important for winning. How's your defense? Like, is your star a one-way star, or do they care about defense? Because I still think defense wins championships. Do you have a second or third star on the way? Which is to say, if I'm looking at Detroit, how much do I trust Asar Thompson? How much do I trust Jaden Ivey to become that?
How much do you trust him, Penn? Since you're on the subject of Asar Thompson, how much do you trust Asar Thompson? Because I trust him a lot. I do too.
I do too. I think he's going to be amazing.
I do.
So, and then just your young player projections. So, like, basically, is most of your roster close to the edge or close to the beginning? And so I think about all that to say, obviously, OKC. Like, that's the checklist. OKC fits the bill. It gets real murky after that because I don't think anyone's mentioned Minnesota. And I think Minnesota has a lot of really great young players. Mm-hmm. So I know it's easy to say Wemby, Dynasty, very easy, but the pieces are very young. And we're talking 2026 to 2030. When are they winning their first one to win the second one? Again, the question is, who's winning two over the next 5? I don't think the Spurs are winning one next year. Their core is very new to each other. Their coach is new. They're very young. Steph Castle, I don't think they're winning next year. So the fact that you can't win next year means you got to win 2 out of 4, which already puts me out. So I'm out on Spurs winning 2 over the next 5, unless you're thinking they got 29 and 30 in the bag. They're also in the same they're also in the stronger conference. So I got to say, like, I got to edge towards the Eastern Conference as the second team because they're gonna have an easier path, right?
I can appreciate the Wemby logic. I'm thinking to myself, like, who has won the NBA championship that wasn't close the year before? Who has won it? Like, to say the Spurs, I mean, don't get me wrong.
Mars,
the 2020 Lakers.
One more time, Mars.
The 2020 Lakers.
Yeah.
But were they though?
I mean, we didn't get Anthony Davis.
They missed the playoffs.
Yeah,
they missed the playoffs because James got hurt. Don't leave that part out.
Yeah,
they weren't close.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
It's just they acquired a top 5 player in the sport.
And they did.
And the Spurs acquired a top 5-6 point guard.
12. Okay. So top 12 point guard. Nice. So I'm leaning towards maybe the Spurs, no. But if we said 10 years, definitely them. So I actually was thinking about OKC, obviously, but the other teams I was thinking about was Houston, Minnesota, Dallas. AD's really great. Kyrie's really great. They just got Flag. They still got Clay in his, twilight. They got some good role players. I like Derek Lively. Nobody's talking about the Dallas Mavericks, but if Cooper Flag ends up being the real deal by year 2, Do they have a 2-year window to like go back to back there? I don't know.
If AD and Irv doesn't get hurt this year, I think that they give Oklahoma City everything that they're looking for. Everything Oklahoma City want, they're giving it to you. You can fight that all you want, Kate. The defensive player the defense that Dallas would have been playing, Irv gave them the business last year.
Health is important.
He did not.
So
Health is important.
No, he did not.
Let's not act
Irv
like
didn't
this.
give us no business.
So I'm gonna go.
He only averaged like 15.
I'm rambling. My bad. I'm gonna go with Minnesota. I'm gonna go with Minnesota as my second team. So OKC, I'm gonna go with Minnesota specifically because I do believe that they have the young assets to go and make a move for a second star next to Anthony Edwards. I think Edwards has shown an ability to get better, just like Shea. He's very young, and as he approaches his prime, he has shown me to be a playoff performer, like a riser in the playoffs. He's got dog. I trust him. Now I got to go over the East, and I'm thinking about 5 teams here: Cleveland, Indiana, Detroit, Orlando, and surprise, the Toronto Raptors. Those are the 5 teams that I'm thinking about in the East. And
come on, my Pen. Please.
I'm
Ron,
sorry.
why you acting like that? You know
I'm sorry.
Because no, chill. You tell me this all the time. We want people to take us serious.
Yeah, well, you're gonna take me serious today.
Wait, are you naming 5 teams per conference?
Yes, that's what we do, not 3.
He's running through his logic. His process of thinking.
You know my logic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Toronto Raptors, and I'll tell you why. They hit the checklist. They do hit the checklist. They have a great coach. They intentionally lost last year. They're pushing in the table right now. All I'm hearing is they're going after this star, that star. They have all their draft picks. If they do add a 3rd star to this, you're talking about Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickley, and a 3rd star, who could potentially be Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, something like that. I trust this organization. They've actually won a championship before. And here's something funny: Masai Ujiri does not touch that championship trophy. You know why? Because he said, until I win the next one, I want.
Ron, real quick, I hate that trade that's on the table for Toronto. Like KD for Emmanuel Quickley.
That's not a real trade, Joe.
I just want to make sure that, because I hate that trade. I don't like that trade at all. No, I hate that trade. So what's a realistic trade for KD in your estimation?
So that's just broken telephone. The trade doesn't even work. It's not Emmanuel Quickley plus RJ Barrett plus Jakob Poeltl. That's like $75 million. No, it's RJ Barrett plus. It's the same deal I told you about. Like,
well, you talking about the Raptors, right?
Yeah, I told you all about this 4 days ago.
Ron, can I get 7 teams too? I got some.
I didn't go 7. I didn't go 7 teams.
As you were saying,
I got more.
3 teams.
So Trip, I got you.
As you were saying,
we gotta hear Mars first. So I got you.
So how does this deal get done? Like, what's a fair
RJ,
deal?
Yak, Ochai, and 2026 first.
So you're keeping your lead guard, okay? Because I was thinking, who's passing the ball to who? So we just taking the ball off the glass and we just going.
Again, it's weird to me, like how we like look at Brandon Ingram last year, right? It's a depleted asset. There's an all-star. I think he's an all-star talent. He hasn't been an all-star in a few years, but I do think he's an all-star talent. Yep. And he went for 1 first-round pick, the pick that just got traded back to Indiana. That's the pick that New Orleans got for him.
Hey, Pitt.
That's crazy value. How much better do you think Desmond Bain is than Brandon Ingram?
Pen, I hate to interject.
I hate to interrupt this.
But my man Simon 718, just hold that thought, Pen. Just hold it. Stay right there. Or you could change it and choose another team. But my man Simon 718 said, thoughts. Ace is the most misunderstood prospect in the draft. He lacks basketball sense. He's very upright defensively, has the ability to make tough shots, but isn't a great playmaker. Benefited from playing with Harper. Huge upside, but floor is scary low.
I agree completely. And he's refusing to work out with teams in his draft range. And in his pre-draft interview, he said, I don't have any weaknesses. My Lord, you're going to get fired if you pick this guy top 3. But he could be good. Make some tough shots.
You guys are bugging with
someone will categorize that as confidence. So
I can't believe you guys are.
If you don't take,
you're high on Ace Bailey.
Yeah, I'm super duper high on Ace Bailey. I don't understand, like, what is the issue? The dude is 18. The dude is okay. We could just say 6'7" because I don't care to get into an argument
He's
about
6'8".
how. Okay, 6'8", perfect. Okay. He's 6'8", very athletic, got a handle,
barely
can get. Oh my God, can get his. He's 6'8". What you want him to dribble like Kyrie? Like I'm just
getting that handle off against NBA defenders?
Make the case he's better than Jeremiah Fears. Make the case he's better than Jeremiah Fears.
I'm not making the case that he's better than Jeremiah Fears. I'm making the case that he is who he is. I'm not like y'all want to sit here and try to. Everybody wants to sound so prophetic when you talk about draft picks, and for some reason, Ace Bailey's the guy that everybody's like, no way, he's not going to be good. He doesn't have no potential. He's this, and this. I'm saying, in what other year do we have a 6'8" guy who can score on all three levels? He's athletic. He shows defensive potential. Yes, he has defensive potential. This dude, this is the.
I'm sorry. Are you describing Josh Jackson?
And everybody would have took Josh Jackson where they took him.
I remember him.
Everybody,
right? He went 4.
Yeah, and everybody would have took, like, if you go back, he doesn't fall no lower than number 4.
Josh had some serious off the court issues though too. You know what I'm saying?
Did he? Really? I didn't know that.
He had some. That was Josh had the drinking situation going on too.
I did not know that
into the seasons and stuff, right? But I mean, still, that wasn't a bad pick. Josh Jackson was balling. I think
that's the dude that with Kansas, right?
Yeah, I think you take that chance with some of these dudes. Like Ace Bailey, like Penn said you get fired if you take him at top 3. You get fired if you don't take him when he turns out to be Chris Middleton or somebody like that.
Fired.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I don't want to say no superstar, but if he turns out to be a really good basketball player and you don't take him, then you deserve to be fired because he's showing that he has potential to score to play good basketball.
What has he shown that would make you think he projects to be a superstar? First of all,
I didn't say that. No, but no, I don't think you should ever be looking at these kids like, oh, that's a superstar, unless they show, something crazy, unless they separate themselves from the pack. But I think you can look right. But other than that, I think it's fine. I think you can look at this kid and see, man, he has a lot of potential. And I there's no way if I have the 4th, 3rd, 4th, 5th pick, I'll pass on him. If he's on the board,
I don't pass on him if I got the 2nd pick.
Oh my.
I don't pay. If I'm the Spurs, I don't want to draft a 3rd point guard. To me, that's dumb. I don't want to draft I have a 6'3" De'Aaron Fox who I just traded for. I have a 6. Now Stephon Castle is pretty big. He's 6'6". Chill says he's 6'7". They got him listed at 6'5".
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 6'5", 6'6". He's big for sure, but he's still a 1 or 2 projected. I don't want to draft a 6'3" Dylan Harper and play essentially 3 point guards together.
He's not 6'3".
So what is he? 6'4"?
He's 6'6".
What is he without shoes? And this is, you always want to do this with me. What is he without shoes?
Dylan Harper.
Basketball's not played without shoes.
No, what is he without shoes?
Hang on. If we're giving Ace Bailey 6'8", we're giving Harper 6'7". 6'6". We're giving him 6'6". We're giving him 6'6". He's 6'6".
2 inches shorter.
Dylan Harper's at 6'4", 6'5".
All right, 6'4", 6'5". For
also,
sure.
respect De'Aaron, 6'4".
All right,
I didn't want to say nothing.
I know the point I'm making is I don't want to put 3 point guards, and you could say tweeners or they both play the 1 and the 2 combo guards. To me, next to Wemby, I would much rather, because this is what I feel like. I feel like everybody's sleeping on Ace Bailey's defensive potential, and you guys are so hyper focused on his shot selection, him shooting over double teams and not being able to get to the hoop when he obviously has to add to his frame. But once again, I feel like you guys are not looking at his defensive potential and looking at these other areas. I'm like, I have a 6'8" guy that can play the 2, the 3, the 4. He has defensive potential, and I can put that next to Wemby. I'm not passing on that. I'm just not. I'm just looking at the fit. I'm just looking at the fit next to Wemby.
Then I would trade that.
Ben, what's your problem with Ace Bailey?
I don't. Okay, so here's the thing. I like prospects who are self-aware. I like prospects who have an ability to scale up and down in roles. I'm not saying he doesn't possess the talent, the shot making. His shot diet is very difficult. The spacing in Rutgers was terrible. I've watched him plenty of times. He has a lot of highlights and a lot of lowlights. If you watch him in the right quarter, you could really trick yourself into thinking this is the next Kevin Durant. Watch him in the wrong quarter, you could trick yourself into thinking this guy was struggling in the G League right now. The problem is, he doesn't really seem aware, and his circle does not seem aware of the fact that he is going to be a role player at the next level for the next couple of years.
Okay,
nobody is handing him
a stretch. That's a stretch. That's definitely a stretch. And number 2,
he was not a top 50 player in college basketball this year. How is he not a role player in the NBA?
Do I not have a right do I not have the right to go play for whoever I want to play for, who I think is not going to screw me up? Do I not have the right to do that, Ben?
But that's
I don't want to work there.
But that's
because
not
I think they're going to
doing.
screw me up. I'm not working out for you. One, because I don't think I'm going to be around by the time you pick. So that's going to waste my time coming to work out for you. And number two, you are going to screw me up. I've seen what you've done in the past. So there's no reason for me to come and even interview for you because no, absolutely not.
Well, chill. You got to remember too. There's a lot of people that when they watch this stuff, they look at it like if you were drafted top 5, then you're better. If you're drafted top 6, top 7, you're better. Whereas to your point, somebody might rather go 8th to a team they think is better for them than go 2nd to a terrible situation.
That's going to screw me up.
So they don't care. Some people don't care about going top 3 if that means going 5th or 6th will put them in a better situation in the future.
Penn, Penn, I just want you to know this, Penn. Some of the biggest problems that I've had in my life have been with some of the most beautiful women you've ever seen. So I don't necessarily want to go out with her just because she's fine as hell. So just because you got the number 2 pick in the draft or the number 3 pick in the draft, that don't necessarily mean that I want to play there. I might want to play somewhere else,
Look,
a lower team.
I understand that, Chill.
Alex, be able to be better
prospects do this every year. Jones Suggs and Evan Mobley didn't want to work out with the Houston Rockets when they had the pick. Last year, Alex Sarr
considering what was going on in Houston.
I understand
Evan Mobley had an issue with Kevin Porter Jr. But
okay, and I mean last year,
Kevin Porter beat him up.
That's what Alex Sarr.
I think that makes you very self-aware. I think that makes you very self-aware.
Yes.
Very self-aware of
maybe that's
what
not a good
works
work
and doesn't work for you.
I don't want coming to practice every day having to box this dude.
But
I don't want to do that.
But this is a misstatement because he's not saying I don't want to work out with the Utah Jazz because I don't like what they're doing. He's saying I'm a top 3 pick. I'm not working out for any team beyond top 3, and I'm telling you, he's not going to go 3rd unless if Philly,
which means a team that he doesn't work out for is going to draft him.
Which means they're going to have to draft him without meeting with him, without being able to bring him into their facilities.
So and clearly it doesn't matter to them because they're going to draft him.
But how do you know they're going to draft him?
He's not going to go undrafted.
He's not going to not.
I didn't say not go undrafted.
Which means he's going to get drafted by a team he doesn't work out for. Which means it doesn't matter to them because they're going to draft him.
So it doesn't. Mars, I'm sure you know the contract value differential between the 7th pick and the 3rd pick or 4th
below
pick.
the Hornets.
Sure. So
I think the Hornets are his floor. I think the Hornets are his floor.
Yeah, the Hornets are 4.
Yeah.
No.
The Hornets are 4th, right?
Sorry, the shit. What did I say? The Pelicans. His floor is the Pelicans, not the Hornets.
What pick is that?
I think it's his 7th pick.
Oh.
And he might not have worked out for them. He might not have worked out for them.
He hasn't.
But if he's on the board,
for the Pelicans,
I'm just telling you, I'm getting a lot of Cam Whitmore vibes here.
Well, Cam Whitmore's a hell of a player.
Yes, he is.
I bet you. If we do that redraft, Cam Whitmore don't fall where he falls. I know that.
Yeah, he'll go 19th. Congratulations.
Kid, you gotta stop sometimes.
No,
First Toronto now this.
You gotta stop because you gotta stop living in this deluded reality in which shot makers are valued as highly as you value them.
I didn't bring up the shot making. I brought up the defensive potential and I brought up his athleticism and size.
Potential.
That's not everybody's potential. What are you talking about?
Hang on.
None of these guys that play in the NBA.
Oh, Rob,
you keep bringing up who's better today and this and this. See, this is the problem with this draft shit. Y'all are getting caught up. Y'all are getting caught up with who you think can step in today and average 20. Who's going to get rookie of the year? That's why you so high on Scotty Barnes. Don't nobody give a damn about no rookie of the year. Look at Michael Carter-Williams. Look at Tyreek Evans. Who cares about that? I want to know who's going to develop. I want to know who's going to develop and help my team win in the future.
You did not just put Scotty Barnes and Michael Carter-Williams talks in 2025.
No, that's not the point I'm making. See, that's what I'm saying. And you always get caught up on the initial point. Let's look deeper into things. I want to know. We just talked about OKC and how they have such a long road that they can, a long window where they can win. I want to know who's going to give me the biggest chance to win year 10 of their career. Who's going to give me the biggest chance to win with the pieces that I have in the foreseeable future? I don't know who he thinks. I don't know who he thinks he is. I certainly don't care who you think he is, but he doesn't get space. Okay.
Right.
And he's playing Division I basketball.
Right.
Yes,
Today.
Okay,
Hey, Ron,
here's a quick litmus test for you. Is he a better player than Adu Thiero right now?
That's the point I'm trying to make. You are making my point. You're looking at right now.
He can't never
open your eyes.
in
Put
3
your,
years.
Hey,
he can't be a
your
space
glasses
kid in
on.
3
Take them
years.
contacts out.
He
Take
can't be
that Puma hat on.
a space kid in 5
I got
years.
20/20 vision, bro.
Open your head
No,
up.
but this the thing. No, the thing about it though, Chill, is when you're 6'9", when you're 6'9", chill. When you're 6'9" with extremely long arms, I don't need as much space as you think I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm shooting over the top of 6'6" dudes. I'm shooting over the top of Mars, Alex Caruso's. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm 6'9".
And by the way, Penn, and by the way, Penn, at this level, they're gonna teach me how to play pro basketball. Just so you know.
Why are people so divorced from reality? Look, for all of his high school career, we heard Cade Cunningham 6'8", 6'8". People kept talking about him 6'8".
This is why I didn't want to bring up the height.
6'6". That's the point. When you have to change when information comes out.
Okay.
Ace Bailey has been billed as a 6'10" wing, which is a very different concept than a 6'7", 6'8" wing. 6'8", I'm sorry, you're thinking 2 inches. Yeah, those 2 inches matter because those 2 inches, 3 inches is what got. Yo, that's not 2 inches. Come on now. I mean, like that's 2 inches. How big are your hands?
That's what she told you, man.
All right, man.
Damn. Come on now. I mean, 2-3 inches is the gap between a normal size wing and a jumbo wing, like
but his
like
arms,
Michael Porter.
it's his arms.
He's got like
a 7-foot wingspan. He's not.
Oh, I don't know.
All right, he got decently long arms. He's 6'8", 6'9".
You know who got longer arms than him? Taylor Horton Tucker. This is not a freakish wingspan.
The thing about it with me is, the reason why I'm even lower on the shot creation thing than you guys are, and once again, I'm talking about him going to the Spurs at number 2. You have Wemby and De'Aaron Fox, buddy. I'm not looking for you.
Yo.
Okay, yeah, that's closer.
That's 2 inches. That's what I said. It's right there.
Oh, you actually went and checked?
Yeah, he got the
Hey, chat.
Yeah,
Chat.
That's 2 inches right there.
Chat. That's what a lot of y'all working with.
Yes.
But anyways,
I'm probably
so that's the difference between Ace Bailey being a top 3 prospect and going to 7.
right
Yes,
there.
Mars.
Yep.
Yes.
Nah, he just gonna
That's
grow out the hair a little bit. He'll be all right.
He's
Exactly.
18, Mars. He'll grow an inch and a half, bro.
You think so?
He's 18. He's 18.
He can still grow too.
By the way,
well, make sure to give that benefit of the doubt to Kaman Malawach and Cooper Flag as well. Then shit, and Jeremiah Fears, who's been considered undersized.
That's the thing. That's the thing though. Like
Ace is
I don't like just drafting just strictly based on measurables. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna choose a guy that's 6'10" over a guy that's 6'8" and a half just because of that. Unless they're like the exact same player, then sure I'll take the guy that's slightly taller. But an inch and a half in basketball doesn't mean a damn thing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just looking at Ace Bailey
as far as height goes.
In his shot making ability, to me, in this draft is second to none. Y'all can say it's tough shots. Y'all can say he's shooting dumb shots. My thing is, once again, my point is he's playing with De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama. How much more easy are they going to make his shots?
Did you not watch Trey Johnson this year?
Are you comping that he can't make open shots? Is that what you're saying?
Trey Johnson is a better shooter. He's not that much smaller. He's not that much smaller on the wingspan side. He is a much better passer. He's a better ball handler. What are you doing here?
I'm not looking for Ace Bailey to be a passer. Once again, you're playing with Victor Wembanyama. Now, obviously, you want everybody to be
a better shooter,
better defender. You want everybody to be a better playmaker. You want everybody to be faster, taller, stronger, all of that. I'm talking about what we have right now. Bro. I'm not looking. I have Stephon Castle. I have De'Aaron Fox. I have Victor Wembanyama.
VJ is a better prospect.
No, he's not.
Jeremiah Fears is a better player considerably, and he's just as young.
Mars, this was you 2 years ago with Jabari and Tari. This was you 2 years ago with Jabari, when Jabari and Tari were coming in the draft.
I just didn't think Jabari was a top. Like people talking about number 1. I thought Jabari was.
I
just didn't see the upside of
the day of the draft.
Jabari is kind of what I thought he was going to be. Like right now, he's kind of.
Look, I just want to.
He better than I thought he was going to be. Mars. I didn't think Jabari would have been a top 7 pick. I
wasn't. The idea of him over Paolo or Chet was insane to me. But like I said,
who's better though, Mars? Jabari or Ace coming out?
Jabari.
I think Jabari had a better season as a freshman.
No, we ain't talking about how he played. Who do you think is the better player?
Ace is more talented. But I think Jabari was a more impactful, better player. But I think Ace.
I thought Jabari.
Does defense factor into talent? Does rebounding factor into talent? Does finishing factor?
Yes.
Like
Jabari was
where
a worse
on the
finisher
court?
than Ace.
Can I ask a question? Where on the court was Ace Bailey efficient? Was he efficient in the paint relative to? No. Everyone blamed the spacing. He's a part of it. He was a bad decision maker. He held the ball for way too long. He was very inefficient. He consistently missed cutters.
Pen, okay, I just got the job. I'm 19 years old. We can work that stuff out. You're going to teach me how to be a pro when I get here, which will explain why I'm not going to work out for the Utah Jazz, because I don't want to work there, because I don't think that they're going to turn me into the pro that I need to be. I don't want to work here because I don't think that they're going to turn me into the pro that I need to be. Yes, I am going to go work out for the San Antonio Spurs because they got a track record of turning guys who aren't a big deal into a big deal, and I can be maximized there. That's the idea.
Jabari shot 43% on 2-pointers in college.
Mm-hmm.
What did he shoot from three? Because I know he was not
42%. 42%. Ace Bailey shot 51% on 2-pointers.
Mm-hmm.
Jabari was a horrible finisher.
Agreed.
He was terrible. Ace isn't even a great finisher. He's better than Jabari was. Jabari was a bad 2-point scorer. The allure with him was he was a 6'11" guy who shot the hell out the ball from three, and he had shot making potential, and he was able to guard and switch and all those type of things. I think you're way too low on Ace's defense. I think the upside on his defense is actually a lot more intriguing, in my opinion, with the athletic tools, the rim protection instincts. And he has shown flashes of being able to be someone who can guard, especially like probably threes and maybe fours if he bulks up, and twos and threes mainly. Jabari was someone who also had to project up defensively as well. And his offensive game, he wasn't a passer by any stretch of the imagination. He had tunnel vision. He wasn't a good decision maker. So the idea that they're just worlds apart, I think, is where I disagree.
But Jabari
I think Ace is just more talented.
Hold on, Jabari.
He doesn't like Ace.
Dylan Harper was on the team either. He just didn't play with Dylan.
So,
Harper.
Can you just admit you don't like Ace because you think it's a character issue?
It's not a character issue, Ron. There's a success formula here. Okay, in order for you to get better, you have to understand two things, very crucial. Three things very crucially. Number one, where am I today? Number two, where am I going? And number three, how am I getting there? Okay. If you do not even know where you are today, you're screwed. If you think you're a superstar today, you're not a superstar.
Okay, so no, so we can flip that around with maybe he does know where he's going, which would explain why he's not working out for other teams, which is why he's pinpointing working out for specific teams.
Where's your game today?
Right, exactly.
Do me a favor. Go back and listen to draft interviews with Draymond Green, Kobe Bryant, Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi Leonard. And when they're asked that question, what do you need to work on? They always give you a very succinct and very detailed answer, which tells you they've thought about it. Sure. I'm not trying to psychoanalyze these guys. I don't know them. But I'm saying, if Kawhi Leonard, coming out of San Diego State, said, I'm a great shooter.
That's exactly what you're doing,
It's not hard.
I'm taking people at face value. So when people show me that they're an asshole, I typically try to assume the best, but I'll register it that this guy's acting like an asshole, right?
Sure.
So if a guy says that he has no weaknesses, or that if his weaknesses are not his real weaknesses based on the tape that I've watched, and I've watched a lot of Ace Bailey this year. I've watched a lot of Jeremiah Pierce. I've scouted this draft for the past 5 months. I'm telling you, I understand the upside. I understand the archetype. I understand the potential. But can we address the fact that super chat was alluding to the floor, and the floor is worse than the floor of a lot of these other players, because at the very least, Trey Johnson and VJ Edgecombe could be elite fourth option.
So would you have not drafted Ant because he said he wanted to play football? Like he didn't even.
Hell no! I was very high on Anthony Edwards.
Too, by the way.
He was productive. And you know, Ant's interviews is cocky.
Yeah, he said he wanted to run.
I don't mind someone being cocky. Shit, be cocky, but be confident, but at least be real. Like I don't want to hear Jeremy Sohan saying I'm the best 3-point shooter since Steph Curry. No, that might make me think you have mental illness. You know what I mean?
Ron, what this
or it might make you think he has a sense of humor.
Or
that too.
It all depends on how you want to
assume
look
positivity.
Okay. Like it's not like everyone, like the idea that like I take a lot of these answers with like a grain of salt, because like every prospect knows they're gonna get asked what their weaknesses are. Ace Bailey and his team know that he was gonna get asked, what do you need to work on at the next level? So he made the conscious decision that he wanted to go into this with this level of bravado and confidence. That was his decision. Now, whether or not we agree with it or not, I don't know. But I'm very confident that Ace Bailey knows he's not a perfect basketball player. But I'm also very confident that Ace Bailey knew he was going to get asked what his weaknesses were. And that was his prepared answer. His answer was that he is amazing. He doesn't have any flaws. That's what he wanted to present to the media and whatever. That doesn't mean he actually thinks he has no weaknesses. That's the same way a bunch of NBA players, when they're asked in an interview a certain question about their future on a franchise or how they feel about a teammate, they lie. Like, they don't always tell the truth. I don't think Ace Bailey genuinely thinks he's perfect. Like, I don't think that's the case. He knew he was going to get asked. Like, he chose to say it. That was the chosen path. You can disagree with the path. That doesn't mean he lacks self-awareness. That just means that's what he wanted to present to the media.
He lacks basketball IQ.
Ox, I call that.
And you can tell, and you can say that based on what he does on the court. Which is
no, I can say that based on people that I've talked who were covering Rutgers this year, who said he was very slow to grasp, very basic basketball concepts.
They also said that he developed a lot in that area over the course of the year.
Yes.
So once again, which avenue do you want to take? Do you want to take the avenue that he learned over the course of the year, and he's a lot better than he was at the start?
You gotta love that, Penn.
Or you want to take that he was just, or you want to take that he was just.
Penn doesn't
there
like
from the beginning.
him. I'm telling you guys, we're
There's
arguing
optimism
this
and pessimism. That's all I'm saying.
To your point,
if
I got a guy on a crew who doesn't really know much, but I don't gotta explain things to him 5, 6, 7 times. He's a quick study, and he's shown that he's a quick study over the course of time. I love that guy because that development is a lot quicker.
How do you become a 5-star recruit, play basketball your whole life, have family members who play basketball, be around the game your whole life? You got family members who are D1 athletes, and you get to D1 position as a top 3 recruit, and you don't understand basic plays?
It's a bad take, Penn. This is a bad take.
No, it's not.
It is because Penn, 30 minutes ago,
you
were just talking about how we can't judge these young kids because their frontal vortex or whatever you said doesn't even develop until 25 years old, and now you're holding it against Ace at 18 because he said
the prefrontal cortex is not.
That's because the prefrontal cortex is all messed up, bro. That's why. That's how can be forgot.
Yeah, see,
real talk.
You have a habit of talking out of your ass about things you don't understand, and so you end up getting cooked by the people who actually understand, but then you don't actually get cooked by the chat because maybe they don't understand what you just said. So let's get to it. What is the prefrontal cortex actually control?
I'm gonna keep ignoring your little sassy comments.
It's not sassy comments. You started it. Did you not? You woke up and chose violence. Did you not?
I'm not. You said
I was
what?
just minding my own business.
My question, real talk. Real talk. My question to you is: if Ace
that wasn't violence, that was a fact. You had been talking. Let me. That was a fact. You've been talking for 30 minutes, my nigga. Everybody's in the chat.
You can't count now,
Ron turned his camera off because he was reading the chat saying how you were talking for 30 damn minutes straight. So I said it out loud.
Is this another beef when I
started talking? But it's fine.
That's just not true. I was not talking for 30 straight minutes.
Let's go.
Y'all do know the PCL's coming up soon, and you guys can request opponents for the.
You guys are doing it again. Oh my
God. If the Spurs draft,
we're doing it again.
If the Spurs,
I'm gonna be judging for sure. I'm gonna be judging.
If the Spurs draft Ace Bailey, how does he fit with that team, and how does he help? Does he help them immediately?
No. I think he's a little way away. I don't think he's gonna come in right away and be a. I don't think many rookies come in and are contributing to winning instantly. Like, not many do that. Even this year, I think Reese was really good. I don't think he impacted winning. Like, asking a rookie 18, 19 to come in and impact winning basketball in the NBA, that's a tough ask for anyone. Like Wemby, I think, came in, impacted winning. Chet came in. He was technically a rookie, but obviously missed all of year one. He came in and impacted winning. But like Cooper Flag, I think will come in and impact winning. But like, not every rookie does that. And I don't think you have to expect that. What do you think? Do you think Ace Bailey down the line can help you? Yes, no, that's for you to decide. Do you think Ace Bailey has a skill set that can become valuable in the NBA? Yes, no, that's for you to decide. I just think personally, the talent Ace Bailey has is something that can't be cultivated by any prospect. The things that Ace Bailey lacks, I think, can be developed. Not to become elite. I don't think he's going to become an elite processor or elite decision maker. But I think Ace Bailey can become smarter. I think Ace Bailey can learn to do things at a more efficient level, not being much of a ball stopper as he was. He can become more dialed in on defense with the defensive tools he has and the potential he's shown. So me personally, if I want to look at it optimistically, I would say Ace Bailey can do things that not many other people in the draft can do. The things Ace Bailey isn't good at, are things that can be developed more
Work on
easily
that
than the
stuff.
thing Ace Bailey can
We
do.
can get better. And the reason why
So
I
if
brought
I'm
that
a
up-
young team, I would look at Ace Bailey. If I'm Philly, I'm not looking at Ace Bailey. Because in my opinion, I got Joel Embiid, I got Maxey, I got Paul George. I need someone who I think can help us closer to now. That's my
I've got
mindset.
Joel Embiid.
Yes. If I'm San Antonio, I wouldn't look at Ace Bailey, but that's because I just think Dylan Harper and Cooper Flag are just way above and beyond the rest of the draft. But if I'm a Charlotte, I would look at Ace Bailey. If I'm a New Orleans and I don't know what I'm doing with Zion, I would look at an Ace Bailey. That like it just depends on what my roster needs. If I'm Brooklyn, I would look at an Ace Bailey. Like it just depends. Where is my roster going? Do we have time to develop a guy like Ace who I think needs development time? If the answer is yes, then I think you bet on the upside. If the answer is no, then I think you bet on a more surefire pick. Like Ace Bailey has positives to his game. Like he's not just this prospect who does nothing well. Like
the reason why I'm asking that, Pen, is because again, in the Western Conference, in the NBA, like the championships, in terms of these guys being able to win it and how wide open it is, like I need a guy that's going to contribute right now. Like I need a guy that can help
Some
me.
teams too.
And I listen to you dudes talk to me about San Antonio. They get AD, this pushes them over the top.
No,
if they get Giannis, this pushes them over the top. Okay, so if I got the number 2 pick in the draft, because Ox has already made it clear to me that I'm not handing over the number 2 pick for Kevin Durant. I'm not doing that. All right, so if I'm using this number 2 pick, which Mars, going back to your logic, if it's the number 2 pick in the draft, that's a guy, especially in a draft like this, which is highly touted and really talented, a number 2 pick is expected to help me immediately.
But Chill, that's the point I'm making, though.
I don't think anyone thought Alex Saw was going to help with Washington immediately.
Or even then, though, I know you guys are so high on Cooper Flag. This is what I'm saying, though. I know you guys are higher on Cooper Flag, and I know you guys are higher on Dylan Harper. Yep. And those are actually 2 teams that have action next year in the West, the Spurs and the Mavs. I don't think that these 2 teams, and this is why I said I would trade Cooper Flag. If I'm trying to win a championship, I'm not banking on the number 1 overall pick to come and help me win a championship. I'm trading that away for a proven. Hold on, Pin. Relax. I know you're ready. I know you are about to come jack Cooper Flag.
As you were saying, Ron.
What I'm trying to say is I'm not banking on the number 1 pick in any draft to help me win a championship. I'm trading that number 1 pick. I'm trading that number 1 pick.
You trade LeBron?
You're not trading Shaq.
Can y'all please?
You said any. I'm curious. You said any draft.
On any given year. I'm saying let's play roulette. Let's play roulette and just spin the wheel and it can land on any number 1 pick.
If it lands on 2003, are you trading the pick?
This year. I'm just gonna say this year. I'm not banking on Cooper Flag. I'm sorry. I know how you guys feel about Cooper Flag, and I know, and we can always look hindsight and say, okay, this number 1 pick.
Just say what you want to say. You would take Ace Bailey over Cooper Flag. Just say it.
I'm not saying that. See, this is what I'm saying. Can I finish my take?
I feel like you would.
Where did you get that from?
Can I please?
Yeah, he's saying Giannis.
I'm saying I'm not banking on a number 1 pick to help me win a championship or a number 2 pick. And the point I'm making is when I'm taking a pick, you are a seed. You are a seed that I have to cultivate. I got to plant you in the soil. I got to water you. I got to feed you. I got to give you sunshine. I got to give you chill. 5 years? 5 years is who we're expecting in year 5 you to be who you're going to be for the rest of your career. I don't have 5 years if I'm trying to win this year. I'm not banking on Dylan Harper. I'm not banking on Cooper Flag. I'm not banking on Ace Bailey. I'm not banking on none of these guys if I'm the Dallas Mavericks or the San Antonio Spurs. The reason why I say if I'm the San Antonio Spurs, I would take Ace Bailey, because if I do decide to take Ace Bailey or Dylan Harper, the reason why I say that is because I'm looking towards the future. I'm drafting a pick to build with Victor Wembanyama for the next 7 to 14 years. I'm not. That's the point that I'm making. If I'm looking to draft Dylan Harper to win this year, I don't think we're going to win this year with Dylan Harper.
Future.
What if I smoke me, put me in a casket, let me go? I'm not. Look, I'm not. If I'm a GM, I'm GMing. But Chapin, this is your problem. You're drafting Dylan Harper because you think that he can help them win the Western Conference Finals this year.
No,
I don't think that. I don't think Cooper Flag.
I don't think Dylan Harper is that good.
I
think he's gonna be very good, but I don't think he's gonna help you win a championship this
okay,
year.
well,
And that's
let's
why
bring it to the Mavericks. I don't think Cooper Flag is gonna help them win the Western Conference Finals this year. Now, I do think Anthony Davis. I think Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving will. I don't think Cooper Flag is gonna step in and just push them over the top. I don't believe that.
Now, so trade the pick for who?
But Cooper is willing to be a fourth option. That's the difference. He has the skill set to do that while he matures. That's like Kawhi. That's like Paul George. See, when you establish yourself as an elite
Kawhi didn't do that in year one.
Kawhi Leonard was a good role player in year one. He was contributing to winning, unlike most rookies. Scotty Barnes in year one contributed to winning. He was on a 48-win team and he was a starter playing 35 minutes. You understand? A lot of players cannot do that. They cannot scale their skill sets back and forth. And I'm saying Cooper offers you the best of both worlds because there's a very high floor that he's going to be the third best player on the championship team and a super high ceiling where he could be one of the best players in the league. And Rob, the ceiling does not have to come true.
You get that with Cooper for sure.
But I need to know who you're trading the pick for to see if I agree. Who are you trading the pick for?
Milwaukee so fast.
Is he better than PJ Washington right now? You
don't think
so? You don't think Cooper
is better than PJ Washington
right now?
So what, Giannis? So I'm asking for Giannis.
I just want Giannis. You don't gotta give me nothing else. Just give me Giannis, big dog. I'm not trying to rob y'all. I'm not trying to rip you off. Just give me Giannis. I'm trying to win today. This is our window. We got a smaller window. Kyrie just tore his ACL, y'all. We got a small window to do this.
Right. And the door, and the door just
might actually be better to look towards the future.
Hey, Giannis, knocking the hinges off the door. The door wide open.
Taking calls for AD, not Cooper.
I do understand that, but I can promise you that in 2003, if the Detroit Pistons got the number one pick in the draft, they are not passing on James. No way. He jumps right in their lineup.
I bet you. Well, I mean, because you still got Carmelo Anthony and Dwayne Wade.
But they wouldn't have gotten the number one pick if they went number one. That pick goes to Memphis. That was the protection. It was top one protected that year.
I mean, they didn't trade the number 2 pick, so like the point still stands. Like they didn't trade the number 2 pick, and they were close. They were a contending team in 03.
100%.
They were. So they kept that pick.
But if they
didn't help much,
but if they pick D Wade, that's a dynasty. Boom.
Yeah, maybe.
But D Wade contributed to winning in year one. LeBron contributed to winning in year one. He wasn't as good as he was in year two, but he was 18.
Melo contributed to win.
Melo contributed in year one. Chris Bosh contributed. He was a starter in year one.
I'm not saying it don't happen, but it's a shot in the dark.
Chris Bosh,
TJ Ford, Chris Kaman.
We're talking about the number one pick overall,
Kirk Heinrich,
especially where we live today, where again we're looking at the parity in the NBA, and we might be looking at the 8th different champion, and you got an opportunity to win. A talent like Cooper Flag comes into the draft. He looks like he's an impact player. Where he can help me. Yes, he looks like
he is an impact player.
I'm from the naked eye.
The floor of Cooper Flag means he wouldn't be an impactful player next year.
What do you mean, Mons?
If everything goes wrong for Cooper as a rookie, he won't be an impactful player in Dallas.
What do you mean wrong? Like injuries or
no? Like
he just sucks?
The floor, the same way we just spoke about Ace Bailey's floor, Cooper Flag's floor.
It's not like Cooper Flag was just guaranteed. What's his floor? What's his floor?
He was just
he doesn't have a floor. He doesn't have a floor.
His floor is someone who's too far away offensively to justify being in a winning player in a playoff setting with his defense. That's his floor. His floor is his handle is not refined enough. He's not good enough as a driver. He can't play off the ball as well as people thought because he doesn't have the ability to attack closeouts or shoot as well as people think. The floor is that he's not a very viable offensive piece right now. That's the floor. He's also going to be 18 until December. That's perfectly fine. The idea that his floor doesn't seem to exist or he's just guaranteed to be impactful is disingenuous. Like, we can't look at Ace Bailey through the most pessimistic lens possible and say his floor is he's not even going to be able to play. And then Cooper Flag's floor is, on Dallas, he's going to be helping them in the playoffs right away. Like, that doesn't make sense. Cooper Flag has an avenue as a rookie to where he's not very impactful towards winning either. And that's perfectly fine because he will be a rookie. So what of the things I just laid out aren't possible as a rookie?
I don't think that you can project Cooper Flag to not be an impactful player as a rookie. Based on what he did in college, based on his prep career, there's no player in NBA history. Let me say this very clearly.
One more time.
You're talking about an aberration. There's no player in NBA history as a freshman. And by the way, Cooper was a year young for a freshman. So I want to say I'm comparing him to players who are a year older than him. There's no player in NBA history as a freshman other than maybe Zion and AD, who had a more overall analytically productive year in college basketball in a Power 5 conference. It's not. You can look at any analytic. You can look at EPM, BPM. You can look at win shares. You can look at efficiency. You can look at
VORP.
idle. You can look at VORP.
How impactful was Michael Beasley as a rookie?
Michael Beasley is a different situation because Michael Beasley was a sort of one-way type of star.
Michael Beasley was very strong in a lot of analytics as a freshman.
But he wasn't Cooper Flag.
I'm pretty sure
he was a better.
I'm not saying his analytics shine as much as Cooper Flag's. My point is, he was a year older. His analytics dominated, and he wasn't a very productive rookie.
Let's see here. No, I mean, look, there's also the stuff that you don't measure on the court, which is to say the personality, the development track record of a player, where they're coming from.
His draft interviews.
Draft interviews matter. They do matter. That's why teams conduct them.
So
they
of
ask
the
you
skill
questions.
set stuff I said, which ones?
Listen, like as I said, I've been covering the draft for a really long time. There's a lot of questions that teams will ask you in a draft interview, and they're evaluating your answer. They'll ask you like really crazy questions, like they'll bring you back to like this really embarrassing moment in your high school career, and they'll ask you how you feel about it today to see how you react. Do you get defensive? They'll talk to you about like this really big triumph, like maybe you scored 10 points on Kawhi Leonard in a pro-am. They'll talk to you about that to see if you buy your own hype. They'll ask you a skill testing question, like how many basketballs are there in the United States, to see how you even process that information. I'm not kidding. Like there are teams that do this. Google does this when they hire people. So this stuff, it's trying to understand the aptitude. And despite that bullshit, earlier, that little swipe about the prefrontal cortex does not define your ability to know a basketball play. It's a lot more complicated than that, but it is like understanding a prospect's psychological.
About knowing a basketball player. I said it was.
Well, I was talking about him being slow to basketball development concepts like basketball IQ, and you said, well, his prefrontal cortex is not developed. Prefrontal cortex.
That's not why I said that. I said that because you were judging him off of a statement he made at 18. Because
no, I was that's once again the listening skills are a little bit missing. Let me fill in the gap. I was talking about him being slow to pick up concepts at Rutgers.
I listened to you. That's why I have the rebuttal.
Rewind the tape.
What you say? No, you need to watch the tape
of the Cooper.
You thought I said. You thought I replied to something I didn't even reply to. That's
exactly
you.
what you said.
Of all the things I said about Cooper Flag and how he may not be impactful towards winning next year, which of those things are just untrue about his game, but that are just impossible to happen? That's what I mean. Which of those things are impossible?
I think he has a solid floor defensively that'll keep him on the court, and I think he's a good enough athlete and a smart enough player off the ball to do that. You talked about the handle not being good enough. I agree with that. Yes. Maybe the handle isn't good enough at the NBA level. Maybe the shooting doesn't project. Maybe he has a cold shooting stretch.
Sounds like a white Ace Bailey to me.
Oh my God. See, this is what I told you. I projected your nastiness before, right? You're trying to put this in conversation. The conversation been dead for 8 months.
Hey,
Ron.
Ben, if you go convict me already, then I might as well be guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mars, I think that yes, there is a world where Cooper Flag could flop as a rookie, so to speak, because of all the things that you just said. There is a world where that can happen. Well, how likely is that, right? So we're going to see him in the summer league. We're going to see what that handle looks like. We're going to see what his jump shot looks like, because we saw what it looked like in college. I think the athleticism, a lot of that is going to carry him over to the next level. And I think that because of the young players in the game, I think he's going to be able to compete at minimum athletically. Now, when it comes to the handle, we can tighten that up. And the reason why we can tighten that up is because we can shorten it. So one dribble pull-ups, or getting him in transition, one dribble stop and pop, or one dribble right to the basket, where we don't have to showcase his handle nearly as much, right? Until we actually get it tighter. We don't have to, we're putting him in spaces where we don't have to worry about the stuff that he can't do. We don't have to worry about him doing that nearly as much. That's why I'm thinking the stuff that you talked about, it's less likely, because we're not going to throw him out there.
That's why he's the number one pick. I think Cooper Flag is going to be impactful next year.
Sure.
My argument wasn't that, this is what's going to happen. My argument was
it's just possible. As likely. Sure.
Yeah, my argument is not even just as likely. I think there's maybe like
it's just as possible. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah, there's like a 12% chance I think Cooper Flag actually doesn't help a team win next year. Mm-hmm. But I think it's possible. I think Ace Bailey has a much higher chance of that. But I also think it's possible that next year he's able to help a team. Like, I think that's also possible. I just think it's weird that we're looking at Cooper Flag through the most optimistic lens possible. and then looking at Ace Bailey through the most pessimistic lens possible, and then acting as if it's objective analysis. Like that's what's losing me.
The reason why is because there's, if we're being honest, there is a considerable gap between Cooper Flag.
Of course, that's why one's the number one pick, undisputed.
Right, and the reason why there isn't as much objectivity with Ace Bailey, one, he played for a team that was super whack, and one of the main reasons why they were super whack was because of him. He had a lot to do with that they were super whack. But and Cooper Flag, on the other hand, he was in the national championship. So we're looking at a guy who plays winning basketball. So with him playing winning basketball, so with him playing winning basketball, that's going to translate over to the pro level on the surface, right? On the surface. Sure. But we also have to figure out, okay, wait a minute. He also is a kid. He won't turn 18 until what? October or something like that?
19.
I'm sorry. He won't turn 19 until October. So he's a kid. So there's a lot of stuff that he has to develop too, right? Mm-hmm. But because there's this gap between him and Ace Bailey, it's more likely that Ace Bailey is going to not be as good as opposed to Cooper Flag, because we've seen the stuff that Cooper Flag isn't good at, but we've seen more of the stuff that he is good at, and we think that I think that a team like the Dallas Mavericks are going to showcase.
So what position do you think Cooper is going to come in to play? The 3,
the 4? I think he's a 4 man.
Well, AD's the 4.
But isn't the
bench,
starting lineup going to be Derek Lively, AD? Isn't that the whole point? AD.
I'd assume it's AD, Derek Lively, and then Kyrie. Obviously, when he comes back, starting the year, I don't know who that point guard is actually going to be. I would go. I don't know how Clay feels about coming off the bench, but I'm going with Kyrie, Max Christie, Cooper Flag, AD, Derek Lively. That would be my 5.
So he's already starting over PJ.
For me, I would have to see what he looks like in summer league and in preseason, but that would be by the end of next season. That would be the starting 5 I envision. Now to start the year, I wouldn't be surprised if they go with PJ to start, and then Coop plays his way into the starting lineup. But I think by the end of the season,
you want to move PJ to the 2 and put Cooper
I'd
Flag.
move PJ to the bench. But
so you want to kick Clay at the 2, move PJ to the bench.
And Clay's off the bench too. I'm starting Max Christie. But
Max Christie at the 2.
My bench would have all of my wings. It would have Najee Marshall, PJ Washington, and Clay. Those would be my 3 bench guys. Have a backup point guard, whoever that may be, and then Daniel Gafford is my backup 5. That would be like my depth chart. But we'll see whatever the Mavs have in store. But I think Coop can come up. I don't think Coop's gonna have a problem coming off the bench to start. And then even if he's on the bench his whole rookie year, it is what it is. I still think Coop can be very valuable off the bench. It's just
playing behind Anthony Davis is not a bad thing. Holy shit.
Yeah, man. You told that to Ace Bailey. Maybe he thinks he should be starting.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Wow.
All right, fellas. Well, it's been some good draft talk. It was some good dynasty talk. Mars, we didn't get your top 3 though. Top 3
because I heard the Raptors and I took my headphones off.
That's how we got here.
Yeah, Penn said the Raptors. I don't know his explanation. I stopped listening. I assumed it said Scotty Barnes. We're gonna get Giannis and then something. I don't know. So I just stopped listening. OKC, Boston, and then 3rd team.
Mars, you think Boston's gonna be back next year?
Chill. I got Boston in mind too.
I got 5 years. Yeah, I got 5 years.
I'm surprised nobody took Boston.
Yeah, I got 5 years. I think in the next 5 years, I wouldn't be surprised if Boston win.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Twice. Boston wins twice.
They won in 24. That's basically 2 and 5. If they win in 2027, they won 2 and 5 years. So I think Boston can win.
Okay, I didn't know we were doing that.
No, we're not doing that. But let's not act like in 2 years Jason Tatum's not back.
Yeah,
I mean, you basically Ace Bailey right now.
Yeah,
Mars,
you're allowed to do that, Mars. Pink took 12 teams. So
Ron knows me. Ron knows
how many DJ got?
I answered the question.
It took 13, chill. 13 teams.
I answered
OKC, Minnesota, Toronto. That's it. I took 3 teams.
Congratulations. I answer the questions how I answer the questions. If Boston win in 2027, they've won 2 in 5 years. If Denver win in 2027, they won 2 in 5 years. So I'm answering how I want to answer.
Oh, excuse me.
I got OKC, Boston, and then that 3rd team would be someone between the Timberwolves, the Rockets, the Nuggets. Orlando would be an outside shout. Those would be like my outside. I think the Lakers, just because the Lakers are always going to be relevant. Those would be my outside teams. If I had to pick one,
oh bless you! I didn't know that was a sneak. Bless you.
I'd probably say Minnesota. If I had to get if I had to put any money on a 3rd team, it would be Minnesota. So I'll say Boston, OKC, and Minnesota. Those would be my 3 picks.
So 28, 29, that would be 5 years. So if the Celtics won it in 29, that would be 2 in 5 years.
So I'm saying.
Okay, so that's not the question we all answered. So that's cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
I answer how I want to answer it.
Aside from that pin, though, regardless, I still
that
think
changes everybody's answer. If everyone's thinking that, then who wouldn't?
Yeah, well, then everyone should have thought outside the box. So I'm not saying.
But Pin, even outside of that though, like Mars is doing his own thing. Cool.
I also think it's possible they just win 2 of the next 5.
And that's exactly what I was about to say.
I also think that's possible.
You are also 7 years away from your prefrontal cortex being developed. So I get
sure. But yeah, I also think that's possible. Boston could win in 27 and then win in 29. I also think that's possible.
I mean, look, when Jason Tatum come back, and it's still Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I know the iteration of the squad around him is going to be different, but it's still Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I know he's coming off an Achilles, y'all. I know that. But it's still Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
I think this crew is way.
I don't really see the Achilles affecting him that much, to be honest with you. I don't.
I think he gets enough time off. I think the Achilles were at a point where you can come back. I think.
Yeah,
I don't think he plays next year, Mars. I don't.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't. But
I don't think he plays next year.
Is he going to be at least 80% of who he was? You think?
Yeah.
In order for my 2 and 5 years to be close, yes.
I think when he comes back in the 26-27 season, I think he shows that I can hold up. I think the 27-28 season when he get back to being top 5 Jason Tatum.
I highly doubt Jason Tatum will be a top 5 player again. But I think that's just to do with Wemby's progression and stuff. Like I just think the top 5 is going to be other players will get better than Jason Tatum was before he tore his Achilles. I think Jokic will still be around. I think Giannis will still be around. And then I got Shea and Wemby will still be there. And then actually, no, maybe because I think Embiid will be done by that point. Like he's probably already done now. So
you said Luka, right?
Oh no, man. Yeah, JT's cooked. I'm sorry. Yep, my fault.
Anthony Edwards too. Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if Jason Tatum's not a top 5 player. I just don't think he needs to be. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's not. I just think the league will keep progressing.
My thing with Boston is, when is the last time that we seen Boston be uncompetitive? It's been
2021.
They were uncompetitive.
Well, they were hurt in the playoffs, but
they were hurt.
Yeah. They still were competitive though.
Yeah.
They still made the playoffs.
I thought you were saying like championship, like they've been on a championship kind of.
Well, since 2016, with the version of Jay Crowder, Isaiah Thomas, Avery Bradley, Al Horford, Boston has consistently been. Yeah, Boston has consistently been
that good team. I mean,
since 2018, Ron, they've been in the East Finals 5 times since 2018.
Yeah,
they've always been in and around it.
That's what I'm saying. Like they've always consistently been a very good team. Even next year without Jason Tatum, if they were just to run this team, just put this team on the court, they would be a top 3 or 4 team in the East. Like they might not win a championship. I'm saying they're gonna be a competitive team, though.
They'd be top 6, I think.
They go to the playoffs.
Team,
you know, they'll go to the playoffs. They might lose in like 5 or 6, but they're still going to be a competitive team. They come back next year. And so you see what I'm saying? So like they're still going to be a competitive team. The point that I'm trying to make is like Boston still has a good team right now without Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum's going to come back, make them a better team. But obviously they're going to break things up. Okay, you trade Drew Holiday. You're not just going to get nothing back for Drew Holiday. You trade Derek White, which I'm not saying
Drew Holiday's not a positive asset at this point.
They're still going to get something back for Drew Holiday.
Man, I can appreciate the money, but yes, he still is a positive asset. Yes, he is.
They're going to get something back.
No,
Porzingis, they're still going to get something back for Porzingis. Boston is still going to roll out a competitive team for the foreseeable future.
Everybody in the league knows they need to shed salary. Their players are old. The player that has a lot of value on this team is Derek White, Jaylen Brown potentially, but I think a lot of people would view Jaylen Brown's contract as being very overpaid in the modern CBA. So no, I don't think their players are going to return some phenomenal value. I'm sorry, I don't. Drew Holiday is a fantastic player. He is a starter, but he's making $34 million, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. $34 million at 34 years old, and he got 2 years left on that deal. That's not a positive asset. That's a positive player for sure, but at that money, he's not a positive asset.
It has to be a positive asset for you to get something back of value. Even if you,
yes, like, even by definition, he does.
In the Magic trade that they just did with the Grizzlies, a lot of people think that they overpaid for him. This is what Ox was just saying. Just because you don't get the exact value back doesn't mean that you still didn't get something positive back.
And not only that, how are you not a positive asset? Okay, first of all, Penn, the salary cap, you've already explained this to me more than once, more than twice. So that money's going to go up, the salary is. So I still got an all league level defender at the lead guard spot who can knock down an open shot, who can play considerable. He can still play considerable amounts of games. At $34 million in 2 years, that may look like a little bit of money, especially if he's still viable.
No.
That may look like a little bit of money next year. That may look like a little bit of money.
Salaries are going up too, Chill. Like
yeah,
Jaylen
they
Brown
are.
is making more and
That's
more
why
and more.
when a guy's making 50, a guy's making $60 million, if I got a guy at the Drew Holiday level 2 years from now where he's still really good, making $34 million, making $35 million, I can probably get something back for that. That's a positive level player.
It takes two to tango, Chill. So like it's like KCP is a decent player, right? We could agree with that. He's a top 150 player. But who's paying him $22 million? You just got to be worth what you're worth.
Memphis.
And well, Memphis actually took a draft pick back to take that contract on. It's like right now when I think about Bradley Beal's contract, Bradley Beal is still top 120 player in the league for sure. It's just not worth $54 million.
Pin, will you get a player back for Drew Holiday?
If
you trade Drew Holiday, will you get a player?
You're not getting a bucket.
Here's the problem, Ox.
You will get a player. I'm just asking, will you get another player?
Could you be the player? Could I be the player? Yeah, sure.
No, you're not.
No, the problem is you making the trade.
It's not that big a deal, bro. It's not that serious.
You're trading Drew Holiday to get to shed salary. You're trading Drew, so you're not taking back another $34 million player. You're taking back lesser salary, and you're probably giving up a draft pick to get that swap off because there's no way to shed salary without taking back some salary. Someone else got to have cap
but we
space.
don't care. We don't like so we're giving up a draft. Like, look, so the Boston's already competitive. We're trying to stay competitive. So we don't care. Who cares about the draft that you give away? It's just some kid with undeveloped prefrontal cortex. So who really cares, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about the player. Are you going to get some type of player back? That's all I'm asking. Like, is it like you know what I mean? You're not just
something of value
in a salary dump. The whole point is to not take salary back.
But do you get a basketball player back, Pin?
Maybe you don't.
Okay,
because you're trying
to trade Drew Holiday for nothing.
Oh my
okay,
God.
well, if that's
you understand what their luxury tax bill is next year? You get that, right? You're not. I was on the fence if they were going to pay that with a healthy Jason Tatum. With an injured Jason Tatum, I think there's no chance.
Where are the? Because I know you're pretty well versed on this. So where are the possibilities of Drew? Like, is there a couple teams that are like, okay, we'll take Drew?
Maybe Washington, maybe Brooklyn, maybe Detroit. Like, these are the teams that have some cap space and they could use their cap space. Like, teams do this all the time. Indiana brilliantly did this because they gave Bruce Brown that contract so that they could trade him later. Right?
Yeah.
Teams use their cap space, and sometimes OKC. How did OKC become this championship contender? They consistently parked out their cap space. They did it for Al Horford at some point. They didn't need him. So that's my point. You're gonna need to find a team that's under the cap that's willing to take Drew's contract and give you very little salary back, so that you can cut your luxury tax bill. There's also a whole bunch of complications about being a second apron team and not being a contender. So teams that are second apron teams that are not contending that year have a vested interest in dipping under the luxury tax for that year.
So basically, like, you're not gonna trade Drew Holiday and get Drew Holiday back, or a player of the value of what Drew Holiday was when they got Drew Holiday. We understand that, but I'm saying you can trade Drew and get somebody for a little depth or something. You know, somebody that can give you some minutes. That's all I'm saying.
I think a contender wouldn't mind maybe overpaying for, because they might, a contender who feels like they're one piece away, one POA away, or something like that. I could see them being desperate enough.
I could see a Detroit going for a Drew Holiday.
Yeah,
and given what, Morris? Because how much is like Jaden Ivey's contract? Is that involved in that, or is that too much? That's giving too much. Like, what are we?
Jaden Ivey would be part of it. If I'm Detroit, I'd be perfectly.
Oh well, then all right, that's fine. That's fine. If Boston give up Drew and get Jaden Ivey back,
hell yes.
Great. You know what, Boston? That's a great trade for Boston.
Hell
because because of the money and the fact that
Detroit's not stupid. They're not doing that. Why would you do that? I'm doing you a favor by taking back your contract that you desperately. Look, man, trades come back to
because
leverage.
Drew's a hell of a defender. He's still a really good basketball player.
And a proven
I
winner.
don't care if he's 34, if he's 43. Right now he's still a pretty good basketball player. Detroit might look at it like, hey, we need some more vets over here that can continue to get these young guys better. A guy that's proven, a guy that's won multiple championships, a guy that is a professional. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't know if this is a possibility. I'm just going off of what me and Marshall threw together right there. I'm just saying, if they could do something like that, Penn, that is amazing. That's amazing for Boston.
Hell, Penn, and don't jump out your drawers when I say this, but you saying that y'all about to trade for KD or something, y'all might trade for Drew Holiday.
Sure.
Y'all might come off one of them young players.
But we don't have negative salaries. The closest thing we have to a negative salary that can match the Drew Holiday trade isn't going to help Boston, and that would be RJ Barrett. That's not helping them. They need
Boston would love to take RJ Barrett over Drew Holiday.
How did they get RJ?
Okay, cool.
Look, y'all. This
wait, is that possible? Y'all. They can trade Drew for RJ?
I think the money matches.
The money matches, but Toronto would have to do some other stuff on their roster too. I guess what I'm saying is the right team is going to be a team that can give Boston what they want, but everybody knows what Boston wants. So you don't have any leverage. You understand? Like, we all knew last year that New Orleans was not willing to pay Brandon Ingram. That's why they couldn't get a good offer for him. That's why they had to pick between 2 offers instead of having 12 offers, because he was injured and he hadn't had a good year, and everyone knew you had to move him. The Raptors ended up getting less for Siakam because everyone knew they didn't want to pay him. So everybody knows, it's the open secret in the league. Boston is shedding salary. Why am I helping you shed salary? You have no leverage. That's what trades are about, is leverage. So Derek White, I understand. You will have like 12, 15 suitors. He's on a good contract. He's still in his prime. Drew Holiday is very much outside of his prime, and he's got 2 years, very expensive. I'm sorry. If you're a team like Detroit that feels like he's a finishing piece that gets you another round, I understand that. But you're not giving up Jaden Ivey for that, because you don't have to.
But
it's OD.
Everybody doesn't do business like that. Everybody doesn't make trades like that. Everybody's not like, we got leverage, we're trying to whoop you. Everybody doesn't think like that. A lot of people just want to do good business. Like, hey, I need this person, you need this person. Simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's not Danny Ainge. Chill. Everybody's not looking to, you know what I'm saying, to rob you blind when they do business. You know what I mean?
It's fleece you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Some people actually still believe in just doing proper business, straight up. Like, you got this dude. I know you're trying to shed some capital.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe you don't, Penn. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't do business in good faith. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people still look at it like, hey, I know that you need help getting off of this contract, but I also need a vet that's still a good defender, that can knock down open shots, that can play good basketball. That's a good connector. You know what I'm saying? A good glue guy. I will take him off your hands. I know that I'm helping you, and I know, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry for helping you and you helping me. You know what I mean? Like, that's just good business. Everybody's not trying to whoop everybody.
Or you can have a situation.
The Pelicans just help the Pacers.
I'm not trying to hit you with the ooh-wop every time we do business. Like, we can just, you know what I'm saying? Fair exchange, no robbery.
You guys do know this all started.
Or we can have a situation, Ox, like, I'm calling up a friend of mine because I need a favor because I'm about to get fired. Like Danny Ainge did with Kevin Garnett. Will you help me out here? Your team isn't very good. My team isn't very good. I need some help. Will you help me out? You can probably do a better job at building your team right now than I can. And you can probably do a better job in building your team in the future than I can right now. So will you help me out? How about you hand over the kid? Or how about you hand over Garnett and we can work something out? So, I mean, teams do that, but you also need teams who have some guys.
Right.
Who knows?
Everybody ain't Danny Ainge. What he say that time, Ron? He told him we can handle this like we got some class, or we can get into some gangster shit. That was Danny Ainge. Everybody ain't Danny Ainge. That was crazy when Danny said that.
Pretty Tony from the.
This all started because I said that the Celtics have avenues to be competitive in the next 5 years. So it doesn't have to be Drew Holiday. If Drew Holiday is so hard to get off because the salary's too much, they can still get off Derek White. Like, they still have.
I believe in Stevens, so I'm with you. I just believe in their front office. Ever
too.
since he's joined the front office, they've done an outstanding job and done some things I didn't think were possible at the time either, like getting Drew Holiday and all. Like I believe. I'm with you, Ryan. I don't know how
Jason
he's
Tatum,
doing
you
it,
have a chance. That's where I'm at.
And Jaylen Brown.
Or getting
I don't think they need Jaylen Brown. Like, I would like to keep them together, but
one of the smartest things they did, real talk, was get rid of the coach because he's sleeping with the money man's wife. Like we can't have a money man screwed up. We can't do that.
Well, yeah,
Pretty sure Ime would have gotten them 3 championships by now.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, we got a couple super chats, and before we do that, do we need to address anything up here?
I don't know, Ron. You sound like you got something on your mind.
I don't have anything on my mind. I'm trying to make sure.
We all civil up here, man. See, Ron trying to start some.
Oh, Ron, trying to start some shit.
No, chill. We are a big, beautiful family.
All right, let's address something,
right?
Ron. Is Tyrese Halliburton playing him all night?
I don't know.
He said if he can walk, he can play.
I would assume he would.
Man, you can't run, you can't hoop, Mars.
I
Magic tried to give it a go in 89. He can barely.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion if Tyrese Halliburton is hurting the team, you don't just keep him out there for the sake of he wants to play. We got a championship.
Well, wait, Mars. This is my thing. Because everybody's still making trades. Why Indiana just ain't make a trade real quick? Trade for Ja. Let Ja.
They just made a trade yesterday.
That's what I'm saying.
They traded for.
They do that in the finals.
I'm saying you can make trades. Why they don't trade for somebody?
Can you trade players in the finals?
No, your playoff roster is locked the second this regular season ends.
Who is that?
And you cannot trade for any players.
No, that's what's behind you. Who is that?
It's a dog.
He wants a dog's name. He wants a name.
Oh, that's Martha.
Oh,
I'm about to say your dog's name is I'm dead.
Dogs with human names always intrigue me.
Anyway,
that's Martha.
All right,
Ron,
so
Ron, I'm just thinking. I know we gotta get the super chats, but Ron, I'm thinking about the fact that the calf strain is a really big deal, and I don't want to screw around with that. That's all. I don't.
I agree.
I don't want to screw around with that.
Typically, chill. I feel you. I typically 100% feel you.
I don't want to screw around.
I mean, how many more chances? You never know. When we gonna be back in this situation again, man? If I could remember, we balling. I mean, go ahead.
Compensation
get out there,
injuries are real though. Like,
get out there.
It's hard, Mars.
Kevin Durant
100% are.
Yeah, like compensation injuries are real. I don't like.
Yeah, but see, the thing with
I understand what's on the line, but like,
so
at some point you got to
man. The Tyrese injury is fishy because the reporting around it has been very weird. There's been ankle soreness, I believe, calf strain. There's been, but somebody broke this down. Dr. Suter, he does the player injuries. He's great at it, and he said that the tape on the back said this was probably Achilles related.
Yeah, it's called the Pacers are making excuses for Halliburton. Hey, OKC man, how do you feel about
so you saying he's not really injured?
Y'all close it out in game 6?
No.
You think we're going back to Oklahoma City for game 7?
Yeah.
No faith.
I think y'all smoked them tomorrow.
Nah, we're not gonna smoke them, bro.
I think y'all go in there and smoke.
If I know Indiana the way I know Indiana, tomorrow night is gonna be hell. Oh, Halliburton injured or not? Think about it. He was playing as bad as he was playing the other day, and they got it to 2. Now they're at home where role players play better, probably shoot better.
Shout out to TJ.
I'm just saying. But we're going to win the series, which is why I don't care. Like, it could go to 7. They can win tomorrow night, but they're not beating us in OKC. So
this goes 7, y'all done.
I think
y'all better finish it tomorrow night.
No,
if it goes 7, you're done.
It ain't going to go that way. It ain't going to go that way. It'll go 7, but they're not beating us in Oklahoma, bro.
Oh, you guys losing tomorrow?
I do. I was on this OKC podcast and they asked me right after the game 5. They asked me that. I was like, listen, it's going to be hell Thursday night. I'm telling you, it's not going to be easy at all.
Just because I whoop your ass does not mean it's going to be easy.
I don't think they let it get to a game 7, man. I think they come out and give it everything. And we have seen throughout this entire series the best of OKC is way better than the best of Indiana.
Yeah, but
and we also saw the separation in game 5. Like we see this team is better than this team. We saw that.
I don't know. Indiana
don't need to be 20 points better than OKC. They just need to be 1 point better.
They brought that game all the way down to 2. as bad as Halliburton was
and then
playing.
Oklahoma City blew it back open to 14.
Yeah, but now we're going on the road though.
Right. Without their point guard who's hobbled now.
So TJ not hobbled.
He don't need to be 100%. They got a deep team.
We already got the TJ game too, by the way.
Maybe he has
You
two
got
games.
you didn't get the TJ game. TJ
100% got the TJ.
PJ played fantastic all series.
It's not a TJ game.
We've had
That means you got five TJ games.
It's just TJ being TJ.
Man.
Yeah, it's not a TJ.
The role players play better at home. I hope I'm wrong, obviously, but
You are. I think you are, Kate. I do.
No,
I don't
It's
know.
gonna be tough. I'm telling you, it's gonna be tough. I think it's gonna be a super close game.
if it goes to a game 7, I got bad news for you, Capers. Because
No, Penn, come on, Penn.
No,
They're not beating OKC in Oklahoma again.
Experience tends to win out in game 7s, man. I know that OKC just beat Denver in game 7. I get that, but Aaron Gordon was very injured. So it's like we have to acknowledge that is a part of it. Injuries are part of sports.
And MPJ.
Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
they were both
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just saying you don't want to take chances because this Indiana team is a high volume 3-point shooting team. If they get hot and you go cold, as your shooters are susceptible of going cold, even at home, the moment could just get too bright. If I'm OKC, I'm like, yo, game 6, the series is over right here. We're putting everything into this game. Because I'm not even thinking about game 7. I don't want to entertain that idea.
The Warriors are the last team to win the NBA championship in this decade on the road. And they, I don't think, are better than this Oklahoma City team. And I don't think that Indiana team is better than that Celtic team.
But Penn, what you're saying though, Penn, I think happens tomorrow.
I wasn't really
get hot. I think their shooters get hot tomorrow and they beat us.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, as much
at home,
I said that the Warriors are the last team this decade to win the NBA championship.
Ain't you the same one that say role players play better at home?
They 100% play better at home.
They're the last team to win a championship on what?
They were the last team in this decade, the last team to win a championship on the road.
Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what you're projecting OKC to do.
Yes, I am. Mm-hmm. And
I just feel like with basketball, certain things, it's hard to compare just because different rosters, different opponents. You know, this series is so different, so unlike most of the series we're accustomed to seeing. So it's really hard to call, and especially with us not knowing the extent of Tyrese Halliburton's career or injury. Like no matter what he did in game 5, the terrible, egregious performance he put on. I mean, the absolute shit show. That dog shit performance he did in game 5. I mean, Ron, the worst shit I ever seen in my life. Regardless of that, the worst. I mean, terrible, Capers. That shit was bad. Oh, it was sickening. I threw up. But anyways, we don't need to talk about that anymore, right, Ron? So what I'm saying is, just because he played like dog shit in game 5 doesn't mean that the Pacers don't need Tyrese Halliburton. It doesn't mean that Tyrese Halliburton's still not a good basketball player. So does it not concern you that they brought it to 2 points? With that being said, does that not concern you a little bit? Real quick, we're talking. I do.
To the next PC weekend,
real
quick, we get invites.
But go ahead. Let's hit on the front stage first. Capers, I'm with you.
You don't find that concerning a little bit.
And when I see you, when I take off on your bitch ass, don't say nothing either.
Is this another beef? Can we ever just be civil?
Yo, the thing about that, Capers, is I do think so. I don't think y'all are that much of a better basketball team than Indiana. I'm not sure if y'all better. I'm not as high on y'all as most people are. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to say that to get extra squad or nothing like that. I'm just saying that I think Indiana has everything they need to beat them, as long as but they do have to play really good basketball. You know what I'm saying? Especially if OKC is playing good basketball. You know what I mean? Like Indiana's not far off. So that's why I'm saying, like, I think they need Tyrese to be able to play. I don't think they can win this series. Like, I don't think they can win tomorrow if Tyrese is like really if he's hampered. You know what I'm saying? If he can't move.
But if TJ McConnell steps up, Mathurin steps up.
TJ can't play for 48 minutes.
Nemhard steps up. You know what I'm saying? We might be looking at a game 7.
we know how basketball works. If Neesmith and Nembhard get hot,
That's
you
what
know
I'm saying.
You're 100% correct. Pascal Siakam could be the best player on the court tomorrow. That's very possible that happens. That Pascal Siakam's the best player on the court tomorrow. So I hear you. You know what I'm saying? I hear you.
Like I said, I hope I'm wrong though. I hope Chill is right because I'm catching a flight. I'll be in OKC at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So I'll be right out there celebrating. I think it's best. I think it's best for the league and best for content and best for us if we
get a game 7. 100%.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? 7, yes. I've been so you know how it's been. I've been pushing for game 7s.
Yeah,
all
100% it is.
I mean, especially seeing as we weren't involved, and when the Clippers lost, who cares anymore? You know.
Capers, how long you in OKC for?
I'll be there till the 24th. It depends on when the parade is.
You're gonna be tight being in that dry ass city all the way to the 24th and don't get no parade. That is going to
we're gonna get a parade. Listen, don't even worry about it. We're gonna get a parade. I'm gonna go to the parade. I'm gonna make sure I add you in my story because you keep talking. And then after I add you in my story, I'm gonna fly home and I'm gonna drive to New York, go to the draft, man. That's it.
Mars, this is gonna be the first sequence. This is gonna be the first parade you're ever gonna be able to watch, Mars, that features tumbleweeds.
Oklahoma City gonna win the NBA championship. Holy shit, yo.
All right, y'all. Speaking of winning NBA championships, I want to take a little trip down memory lane, and I want to give y'all a blast from the past. It was in 2013 on this day, June 18th, where a certain ball guy made a certain corner three that was tipped out by a certain guy that resembles Nick Claxton. Y'all remember this?
Oh, yeah, that was a cool shot.
Yeah, Nick Claxton tipped the ball out to whoever Ray Allen's comp is today, and that's what it was.
Greg Popovich took Tim Duncan off the floor, no rebounding, threw a monkey wrench in the whole thing.
Did Greg Popovich overthink? Like, did he outcoach himself in that?
Yes, he did. Yes.
I still can't get over Tony Parker with this soft ass closeout, bro. Like, contest the shot. That shit had me so.
I think he was trying not to foul. I think that was the.
I understand that, Mars. I swear I do. I do. He was looking at his shot, man. Fuck Ray Allen, man.
Wait, I got a question. Wait.
I think we gotta talk about Manu and Kawhi missing them free throws.
Yeah.
By the way, Leonard had an opportunity to ice the game.
Yeah, that wouldn't even got to that point, Chill.
He had an opportunity to ice the game.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
Wait,
hey, I was wondering.
Missed them 2 layups.
Tim Duncan.
He missed the layup, got the rebound, missed it again. Was this game or was that game 7?
Game 7.
Game 7, Tim Duncan missed the layup.
So I because this so in 13. I was thinking about this just the other day. If the Spurs win that, who wins the Finals MVP?
If what?
If the Spurs win the championship,
Danny
Green.
For real? Does he really?
Danny Green probably would have won it. Yeah,
he was balling the most in that series.
I was thinking about that just the other day.
He was going crazy from 3.
Danny Green would have found out. Hey, you know what?
That'd be so dope for Danny.
But Danny Green in that series for the Spurs.
He was rocking.
Nah, he only averaged 14, but he made 27 threes in 7 games.
Leonard averaged what, 16 when he won it?
Yeah,
something like that.
In that series, because I mean, maybe they would have gave it to Tim. Maybe
that's what I'm thinking. Is Tim Duncan?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe I'm just trying to be like, oh, Danny Green. I don't know, but like, it just felt like you watch that series at any time. Like Danny Green just there. He didn't miss. He just didn't miss. But maybe they would have just gave it to Tim anyway. But
Danny was that was. I know, even though they lost that finals win, that was a good basketball team.
It would have been Tim or Danny. That's what I think. Kawhi averaged 11 rebounds in that series. I didn't know that until
I had no idea.
Yeah, until I just
free throws. That game doesn't come down to that shot, man.
Averaged 11 rebounds.
Man, you got to knock down your throws, man.
Yeah, I think Tim Duncan gets it. I mean, 18 and 12 is kind of just self-explanatory, and also just a legacy Finals MVP too.
Yep.
But I mean,
so 18 and 12 is something, Ron. But when Steve Nash has 19 and 11, that's
Steve Nash would have won Finals MVP.
Oh, you're disgusting.
Who career better?
He would have won Finals MVP.
Tim Duncan or Kobe? Whose career was better?
Tim Duncan.
I'm going Kobe.
I'm saying that because on my list I got Tim Duncan at 4, and I've been really trying to get him to 3, and I got Kobe at 5. Right, I think I got Kobe at 5 or 6.
I would have rather have Tim Duncan's career.
Yeah, back-to-back league MVPs, never missed the playoffs. Finals MVP.
Never missed the playoffs.
1, 2, 3 times was the Finals MVP. All Pro. 10 straight years, he was All Pro. Made the All-Star team. 15-time All-League defender. That's numero uno.
15? I thought it was like 9.
No, 15 times he was an All-League defender. 15 times. Eight
times. I'm moving Tim to 3. He's not 4 no more, chill.
8 straight years, first team All-League.
Who did you just move him above in that right there?
Magic.
Yeah. He's a part of the 20.
I have Tim over Magic.
He's part of the 25,000 point, 10,000 rebound club. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Tim.
I got Kobe in that conversation, but I mean, you splitting hairs with them too.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into these super chats. We got a few of them, so let's see what the people got to say. The first one is from a $25 super chat from Teddy Hart. Teddy said, how many guys have a single season where based on what they did in that season alone makes them Hall of Fame worthy? I think of MJ in 88, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, scoring champ, in this year's SGA, MVP, Western Conference MVP. Put MVP twice. Oh, Finals MVP, my bad. Finals MVP, scoring champ. Who else comes to mind?
Olajuwon in 94.
I don't think anybody comes to mind. One season can make nobody a Hall of Famer. I'm sorry.
You don't think 2000 Shaq?
No, you can't have one incredible season that makes you a Hall of Famer. I don't think that.
So
absolutely nobody comes to mind for me.
Yeah.
You're not putting Shea in the Hall of Fame if he do this.
No, not for one season.
So like hypothetical. Like, and this is entirely hypothetical. So I'm curious to see like how this extends. So a player gets drafted, right? They have a dominant college season. They win the national championship. They're the best player in the country. Dominant. They get drafted number 1. They come in. They're putting up wilt numbers, like legitimate wilt numbers. When the MVP, DPOY, Rookie of the Year, obviously, first team All NBA. It's a unanimous MVP, by the way. Unanimous MVP. All of that stuff. They then go into the playoffs, win the championship, Finals MVP, Conference Finals MVP. They then die. They don't make the Hall of Fame.
Like they ain't around no more, Ox.
Literally, they die.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what Mars just said is not what the super chat said. So
that's what I was on.
One season.
I was just testing.
So even if he's still alive.
Mars said not what the super chat
said. Okay, wait a minute, Mars.
I was just curious to see if it was possible.
Okay, wait a minute, Mars. Let's expand that. Okay, he didn't die, Ox, but you know what?
It's not even about him passing away though, Chill. It's about the fact that Mars said had a dominant NC2A career. They won a ring. That along with the wilt numbers, you put those together, and then from there on, you can have a pretty not pedestrian, but you could have a slightly above average career. And I think you're going to be a Hall of Famer.
You mean like what Jabbar did in 71 or in 69?
Yeah, but except for Jabbar, but see, Chill. That's what I'm saying. If you swap out from there on, if you swap out his career for Andre Drummond. You know
if Jabbar had a pedestrian career from 71 on, he's making the Hall of Fame off the strength of what he did in college in them 2 years. He's in that 1 year, which is the 70-71 season, where he was like, okay, Chill. So this what I need you to do. Don't ever push back on Al Horford again, because what they did at Florida alone, and plus the remainder of his career. Did he have one season though where it was Hall of Fame worthy? No. I don't think. I know. I understand what I just did was kind of switch it up a little bit. I do understand that, but I'm saying though, like the 15 years of Al Horford is equal to one. It's equal to more than one incredible year. But Al Horford's had some pretty. You know what? Let's get off Al Horford. Let's get off. And by the way, I've never switched up on Al Horford. My issue is you talk about Al Horford like Jabbar. That's my issue. No, I never do that. You said because Jabbar won a championship won the national championship in back-to-back seasons. That's right. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, Ox, let's relax on that. Okay. Right. Yeah, that was different. That was how I reeled it in. But I'm just saying, like,
I don't think to go back to the super chat. I don't think one incredible season, like I don't think you could just have one incredible season that makes you a Hall of Famer. That's all I'm saying. I can't think of anybody's season. And if it was Capers, it's not this one.
If Shea do that, he's top.
If there was one, it's not this one.
If Shea gets the title and MVP, he's top 20 all time.
I do think this solidifies Shea's case as a Hall of Famer.
Maybe, but that's because he's put together seasons before.
No doubt.
Yeah.
But he's
Shea's
for
been
sure
a top 5 player for like 3 years.
As of today, he's a Hall of Famer.
Ron, are we sitting here saying that what Olajuwon did in '94, that's not one season that's Hall of Fame worthy? I was the league MVP.
Yeah, but he'd been in the league for 10 years.
Okay, but we're only talking about 1 year.
Yeah, but the reason that season, like, if Hakeem retired in '93, he probably would have been a Hall of Famer before that season even happened. He had 9 years of being a Hall of Famer.
But Morris, let's say the nine prior years he was just a regular starter. Let's say he was don't take offense to this, Ox, Eddie Curry, and then he just got busy for that one season.
Yo, chill. I'm finna see Ron in like 5 hours.
Is Derrick Rose a Hall of Fame?
Yes.
I want to ask y'all a serious question. Capers, I'm talking
maybe,
to you.
I guess.
I'm talking to you, Capers, and I'm kind of talking to you too, Chill. I'm just curious. End it right now. Let's say the season's over tomorrow. Shea gets Finals MVP. Okay. Finals MVP for Shea. So MVP, Finals MVP, scoring champ, and Western Conference Finals MVP, right? Are y'all telling me that because we got these last 2.5 seasons from Shea that were pretty incredible,
right?
And we're talking about full careers. I'm talking about back to Kentucky to today. Are y'all telling me that Shea has a better career than Al Horford?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Wait, what? Shea versus Al Horford?
No.
What, Mars, just hear me all the way out, Mars. So you're telling me from Kentucky to today.
No.
From Kentucky to today.
No, he didn't.
And from Florida to today.
No, he did not.
He did.
You're telling me that Shea has a better career than Al Horford.
Yes.
I'd rather have Shea's career.
No way. No way.
I'm just telling you what I'd rather. I'm just telling you what I'd rather.
Fox, you gotta explain that.
Well,
So
because
SGA played 1 year at Kentucky. Al Horford played 4.
He was a
back-to-back at Florida.
Back-to-back champion. He's an all SEC performer. He gets to the NBA. What is he? A 6-time All-Star?
Something like that. Yeah, 5, 6.
I think he's a 6-time All-Star. In addition to being a 6-time All-Star, he's an all-league defender. I think he's got over 10,000 rebounds in his career. NBA champion.
Got a ring.
Yeah, NBA champion. He's played since 2007. We're in year 18. Played over 18 years in the league. SGA just got nice like 4 years ago.
So what? And
he just got nice like 4 years ago.
And in 4 years, Chill. Look what he accomplished in 4 years, Chill.
One more time.
He has two college championships and one NBA championship.
He has a league.
I'm just trying to get a measurement of the bar. Does Al Horford have a better career than Luka?
Then who?
Wait, we're not finna look in the chat. We're not finna just disrespect Al Horford and call him a bus rider. He's not.
Luka got the stuff going on in the EuroLeague championship.
Does Al Horford have a better career than Jason Tatum?
You're right, Mars, because Luka got that EuroLeague. Yeah, my bad.
Does Al Horford have a better career than Jason Tatum?
Yes.
Better college career. Not a better pro career.
Better college career.
No, not a better
all around. I'm putting them together. We're talking about basketball. We're talking about basketball Hall of Fame. Bro, basketball Hall of Fame adds everything together.
A league MVP has to mean something, bro.
It does mean a lot, no doubt about that.
And then you get the Western Conference.
You were a better player. I'm not going to argue that.
And then you get the Finals MVP and the scoring champion. Shea has had a better career.
Better than Jokic. Jokic got like 5.
I just want to know the bar is because LeBron is better than Shea and
Mars, what'd you say? Mars, what'd you say?
But wait, Mars, those two championships they won at Florida are heavy. Those are heavy.
That's why I'm asking the question.
Not
Does he have a better career than Jokic?
No.
Yes, they are.
Okay,
they are super heavy.
I'm asking.
They're heavier than me and Eddie Curry put together.
In the last 60 years, Ron, we've only had 3 teams.
Jokic is the 3-time MVP and a champion.
Been back-to-back.
Yes. Does Al Horford have a better career than Jokic?
3 championships is heavy too.
Not a better pro career.
Hey, respectfully,
the same thing you've done for
we
Al
don't
Horford
care.
versus Shea. You factor in college.
Care.
So factor in college for Al Horford versus Jokic. Does Al Horford have a better career than Jokic?
So let me say this though, Mars, because I
No.
think right now what we're doing
Jokic
too is
doesn't-
I
Jokic did it
think
longer
we're
than
we're
Dennis.
underrating.
That's
I
why
think
I
we're
was trying to get
underrating
to
Al Horford's. I think we're underrating Al Horford's NBA career too. You know what I'm saying?
No, we're
I
not.
think Al Horford has had a hell of an
He
NBA
had an
career.
incredible NBA career.
Although he only got that one. Y'all got to remember, like Al Horford post Atlanta, like when his first 3 years in
Boston.
Boston. Like we got to remember what he was doing then. You got to ask Joel Embiid and Giannis about Al Horford. You know what I'm saying? Like I think Al Horford's professional career is severely underrated.
Does he have a better career? Does he have a better career than James Harden?
Not a better pro.
We're talking about full basketball career.
Everything.
Yes.
Every question
yes.
I ask is not just the NBA. Every question I ask is factoring in Al Horford's
college and NBA.
Does he
James
have a
Harden
better
been in the
career than
league.
James
James Harden been in the league.
I'm not saying he's better than him, but he had a better career.
2009.
No, he has
so
not.
16 years. No.
Would you would rather have James Harden career than Al Horford's career?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, y'all bugging.
Does he have a
No,
does he have a better career than
gotta
Dame?
say Shay.
Then that easy than Dame, Mars. That's not even a question.
I'm just trying to get the ball.
Whoa, hang on. Ox, let's hold on.
Yeah, no question. No questions asked. 100%.
The college, yes. Even though Dame's jersey is hanging in the rafters at Weber State. Just so we clear.
Yeah, he ain't got no rings at Weber though.
No, he didn't. He did not win it.
You expect him to?
Yeah.
Yo, he said that.
but I'm just saying.
The way he said that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying though. No.
Right. And then let's see, Dame showed up in 2011, so he's been in the league 13 years.
Yeah.
I've been an all-pro. I've been an all-pro what? 7 times? You've been an all-pro once. I've been first team all-pro once. You never did that. I've been an all-star. What? Dame's been an all-star what? 8 times? You've been 6.
Got a championship.
Scored over 20,000 points. Yeah, scored over 20,000 points as a pro. And got it. I think if the championship is the separator, then that means that Dame and Al Horford had to be close as players. And I don't think they were ever close as players.
Hold on.
Shea and Al Horford, but here we are.
Ox. Shea got all NBA 3 times.
Ox.
3.
You gotta say that.
See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all are severely underrated how good Al Horford was a basketball.
Shea had all NBA.
I said he's not
times.
close to Shea.
Al Horford has a. We got Kawhi, we got KD, we got okay, not 5. Al Horford has easy top 7 active career right now. Al Horford easy top.
We
Okay.
get on with our
I think
everyday
this
lives.
is actually a good one. I genuinely think this is a good one. Al Horford or Draymond Green?
Oh.
Dude, come on. This ain't even a question. This is
You
not
gotta
a
say
For
question.
me, I know my answer.
Yeah.
Al Horford or
This is
Draymond
no,
Green.
this is easy.
Yeah, no. I mean, and first of all, Al Horford's a better basketball player than Draymond.
That's why
Green.
I thought it was gonna be good for us.
Al Horford is 100% a better basketball player than Draymond Green.
But career wise,
I think career wise, I'm gonna give Draymond the slight edge for sure because he got no, it's not even a slight edge. I'm gonna give it to Draymond.
So when you said top 7,
I'm gonna give it to Draymond.
LeBron, obviously, KD, Kawhi,
Steph.
Steph.
Okay, so get Steph, KD, Clay,
Chris
and
Paul.
Draymond out of
That's
there. Get
4.
them out of there.
Then
Chris
add
Paul's not
Kawhi.
in this conversation,
Okay, so
Capers.
Should be. It
Kawhi
should be
would be 5.
Kawhi.
LeBron would be
No,
6.
no. Wait. Based on career with Kawhi, we got a lot. Now y'all know how I feel about Kawhi as far as a peak player. As a peak player, I got Kawhi up there with those dudes. As far as career goes, his career was severely hampered by that knee.
But when he was good, he was damn good.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So
Kawhi, as far as that goes, he up there. But as far as just the career go, Kawhi's career has been hampered by injury.
So a no to Kawhi. A no to Kawhi.
Then I think Kawhi's
Okay.
probably
Giannis
9, 10, 11.
Giannis in there.
Active career?
Yeah.
Giannis? Give me Al Horford.
All right, y'all. Come on. Hey, for real. Look, we really got super
one
chats.
chance.
Bro, we really got super
Wait.
chats. We really got super chats.
Jokic. Last one, Jokic.
Yeah, because we already talked about all the MVPs he got. I think
Giannis got
Jokic,
2 of them.
What?
Yeah, but
And a
DPOY?
he got one more. He got one more.
But
he got a most improved too.
Relax. I'm not saying. There is no gaps
Al
here. There is
Horford
no
had a
gaps
hell of
here,
a
y'all.
career.
There is no gaps here.
Wait, so I just want to make sure. So Jokic, Al Horford, Giannis.
I think so. When as far as career goes, I think that's the realm that Al Horford's in. We're talking about
No, he
full
is not in that
Full careers.
conversation with Giannis.
Chill,
and-
we're talking.
This is gonna be a bad
clip.
We're just having we're having wait. We're having a Hall of Fame conversation. So we're talking about
we
full
are.
career.
Oh, I've got a good one.
He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Drew Holiday.
Al
Oh, yeah.
Horford.
Al Horford. Give me Al Horford. Yeah.
2 NBA championships.
Al Horford.
All defensive teams.
Al got one. Al got
Al
one.
Horford.
I got Al
Confident
Horford.
UCLA
Are you
went to the
comfortable
Final
just
Four
taking
with
Al
Drew
Horford over
Holiday.
Drew?
Yeah, but Al Horford got 2 rings.
He only played 1 year. Drew Holiday only played 1 year. He only played 1 year.
Back to back, too. Back to back.
How
He's
much
a- he's
weight
a
does
Hall of-
that hold?
He's a Hall of
What the
Famer for sure.
A lot. Mars, that's a top 5. That's a top 10.
Yeah, but does that make up
that's
for 2 NBA championships? Like,
Mars, that's a top 10 college basketball team of all time. Some would say top 5.
so 2 college championships and an NBA championship, in your opinion, outweighs 2 NBA
And a very
championships?
not just accolades, Mars. Not only Al Horford was a hell of a basketball. He still is a hell of a basketball
And
player. But
Drew
in his
Holiday.
prime, yes, in his prime, Al Horford was a hell of a basketball player. Very underrated.
And so
Very,
was
very
Drew Holiday,
underrated.
and so was Drew.
Y'all, I am
I know we gotta go.
tired.
I know we got to go.
Yeah, Ron, you can go super chats now.
I'm
Okay.
sick and tired.
I want to make
Oh
it.
my
I
God.
strongly disagree with this, but I don't evaluate careers the way Ox does. But I strongly disagree.
I didn't look first of all, y'all. I didn't think that conversation was gonna go that far. I didn't try to turn this into that. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to just big up my man Al Horford real quick.
Well, you did some
Shout out to
big ones.
Joakim Noah. Shout out to Joakim Noah.
You did some other things too, but Biggin was at the top of the list.
He's glazable.
Tupac Westside said, though I'm pulling for the Lakers, I'm really excited to see what Dallas does next season. The only thing I think they need now is a starting level, pure PG. Then, as long as they are healthy, I can see great things happen.
Starting level pure PG.
I think the Lakers are always going to be relevant every era. I mean, they got Luka. Like, that's a good foundation. That's a good building piece. I have more questions about Luka now than I had a year or so ago, but it's still.
Marcy,
you'd
he
rather
was
have
talking about
Luka than
Dallas.
Yeah, he was talking about Dallas.
Oh, sorry,
He
I wasn't
he
really
talking
paying
about
attention.
Dallas.
Dallas, I also like their future. I like their hopes, but it depends solely on like Kyrie and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think having Cooper Flag as an insurance policy is amazing. Unless he starts playing defense, then he's gonna get traded. But we'll see.
I'm Drake Q said the Mavs aren't banking on Coop, taking them over the edge. We have the players and the talent to go far. We just got injured. That's all.
And I think Coop's going to help next season.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think he's
Everything
gonna
Coop gives them is a bonus to what
Yeah.
they have built.
help. I think he's going to help.
I'm really upset that Kyrie got hurt. I'm really upset about that. I just hope
Yeah.
he can come
You
back.
hear T-Mac say Jamal Tinsley has a better handle than Kyrie?
He is not nicer than Kyrie Irving with the pill. No, he is not.
They are
No.
flaming T-Mac on the internet right now.
He is
But you
not
know what?
nicer than
It just
Irving.
depends. It just
No, he
depends
is.
on what T-Mac values as far as ball handling. You know what
He
I'm
ain't
saying?
nicer than Kenny Anderson with the pill. He
I
wasn't nicer than
feel,
Ross
I feel,
Strickland
I
with
feel
the
like
pill.
he wanted to show Jamal Tinsley love, and he just ended up saying something that.
Yes. You can
Jamal
say
Tinsley was cold though, man.
the
Yeah,
correct
that's why I feel
response.
like he wanted to just show Jamal Tinsley love, which I have no problem with.
The
I
correct
just think he went
response
overboard.
should have been Jamal Tinsley is one of the best ball handlers I've ever seen. That's the
Yeah, but-
correct
yeah.
response.
I just think he went a bit too far with the praise.
I think what he did with Jamal Tinsley is what I like to do with Andre Miller.
And Al Horford.
And Al Horford, yeah.
Yo, one day y'all gonna come to this side and realize how
I'm
dope
never
Al
gonna be
Horford
on the
is and
side.
what.
Yeah,
I just don't evaluate a full
by
career the
yourself,
way
brother.
you do, because I'm never gonna be on that side.
To
I'm not taking Al Horford's career.
Al
over Chris
Horford,
Paul. I'm not
OKC
taking his
legend,
career over
man.
James Harden, Russell Westbrook. Like, I'm not doing that. So we're not gonna.
To
be
your
on
point though,
those
Ox,
things.
and it is fair. Just like Shaq says years later, I couldn't do nothing with Big Country Reeves. That's gonna be Joel Embiid years later. He's gonna be like Al Horford used to bust.
It wasn't just Joel. Chill. It was three years of having Joel and Giannis in handcuffs, shackles,
No,
on lock.
I'm just
It was
saying.
ridiculous.
He will be able to have that where them dudes would be
It's
like,
crazy. I really like Al Horford. That's just like Ox is just so far above me. It's like I seem like a hater of Al Horford in comparison to Ox. So it's like I really like Al Horford.
yeah,
I think he was really good. I think he's still really good.
He
And he's like
was. He
38. But
Top
like,
10
goddamn,
top
Ox,
10
like,
power
I
forward
can't-
all time, man. Top 10
Like,
power
see,
forward all time.
See, I'm not doing that right there.
I don't compare to Ox. It's like damn.
It's two players I'm starting to really, really, really dislike. Al Horford, and I think you guys can guess
Tyrese?
the other one. No.
Oh, I thought
You
Steve
guys.
Square Bonds? I don't know.
There you go, right there. Masinko sent through a super chat and said, as a Heat fan, Gary Neal and Danny Green felt like they were hitting everything.
Every day.
Gary Neal. I haven't heard that name in a while.
Shout out Gary Neal.
Gary
What's
Neal.
What's the first thing y'all think of when y'all hear Gary Neal?
What he had 6 threes in that finals game?
That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Steph Ryan.
First thing I think is J.R. Smith.
Oh.
But do that one. Ooh, that was nasty.
Jean-Mar Skeet Nielsen sent through a members chat, and Mr. Skeet himself said, "New CBA helps OKC. Harder for other teams to catch them."
That's an interesting perspective.
Love Fadina sent through a members chat and said, "Any logical reason why J-Dub is less than Scotty?"
Oh, Penn said that?
Love Fadina.
Yeah, no, did Penn say that? Is that why he's asking for a
That's
logical reason?
probably.
I told you I wasn't listening when he went on his Raptors spill.
Scotty's not better than J-Dub.
I didn't hear that, but
okay, if you didn't say, sorry, Penn, I wasn't accusing you. I just
but
didn't
Penn
listen.
probably did say that though.
What, Ron?
Scotty Barnes is not better than J-Dub.
Pippen.
Oh no, we talking about Barnes.
Okay,
Wait, are we talking about Barnes?
Wait a minute. What?
Wait, is that who he was talking?
No, I think this might be about Scottie Pippen.
Can we just keep it with Scotty Barnes, please? Like,
yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, the reaction for Scottie Pippen and J-Dub is the same as the reaction for Scottie Barnes and J-Dub. Exact same, just Scottie Pippen, J-Dub, Scottie Barnes.
Whoa! I can't go for that.
For what?
Super chat.
Yo, Ron.
Scottie Pippen.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Ron.
Scottie Pippen ain't dropping 40 in the finals as a number 2.
He's dropping 30 though.
He's averaging a dominator
he's getting 30 and 40. He's getting a 30 and 10 double.
No,
he's doing that as a number 10.
He's averaging a dominator triple double in the finals.
Yes, he is.
Tell me when J-Dub does
doing
that.
that.
Tell me when
He's
J-Dub
doing
does that.
I can't go for that. We could do this. Scotty Dub.
And this is me putting my hand in front of yours and going like this. Open up that gap a lot more. Go ahead,
I was
Ron.
just saying.
We got a couple new members, but before I list off the new members, let me talk about the old members, the Hall of Fame members. You guys know Multi Kenny, Worldwide Mace Television, Jason Grillionaire, Teddy Hart. We just read a super chat. Rob Deere, Minor, Joe Breezy, Arch, the GOAT super chatter, Braden, Cheese, and Kingster. Shout out to all of our Hall of Famers. Y'all really hold it down, and y'all will do what y'all do best. Nabby Ling became a new member. Shout out to Ling. EJ became a new YouTube member. Shout out to EJ. Kent Lipscomb Jungla sent through a members chat and said, "Love the pod, guys." Tim Duncan, top 5. Wim VP, top 5. And we can get a new look open gym with Ox and Swiper. Respect to Mars, no hate. Maybe real talking Mars. Just saying the streets is asking.
Me and Swiper go
Yeah,
first.
I'm good.
You
Oxford
good?
Swiper? Yeah, maybe. I'm good on that.
Hold on, yeah. Where's Swiper at? Because I gotta have a word with Swiper.
I don't even. You know what? I like
a word with Swiper.
All you gotta do is say the word. I got you.
I gotta have a word with him about his Nuggets.
Obviously, I got big. I got big love.
I ain't going
I obviously got big love for Swiper. You know what I'm saying? And I would love to do any type of content with Swiper as far as this basketball.
Any
stuff
content?
goes, I said as far as basketball goes, please chill, bro. You know what I'm saying? I like that, but I don't know. I don't know if Open Gym is Swiper's vibe. You know what I'm saying? I think that might be a more me and Frenchie type situation. I think. You know what I'm saying? I think me and Frenchie will go crazy on Open Gym. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Swiper.
Ox, you already got a job. You already hosting the show. So let's chill out on the Open Gym.
I will chill.
Chill.
Free agent next year.
That's never been word on the street.
You ain't re-up him with a max contract.
That's never been word on the streat. My thing
has
is
that ever been word on the street, Ox?
Never once. I work like a Jamaican. I could do this all day. You know what I'm saying? I'm always working. So But the streets asking for Open Gym, Mars. I think you might should, you know what I'm saying, reconsider, Mars.
Nah, I'm good.
Mars is a reformed man. He's not in the streets anymore.
I'm good.
Lo-Fi Anime Hype became a YouTube member. Shout out to Lo-Fi. Hill 1424 became a YouTube member. Shout out to Hill. FIFA Boy, y'all know FIFA. Been a member, sent through a member's chat and said, "Salute to Capers. To be the only OKC fan in PC, Elmo." I agree with everything on here, especially the last part. Reno Tonelli. Shout out to Reno Tonelli becoming a YouTube member. Salute to you. Real Talk. became a YouTube member. Shout out to Real Talk.
He had to actually pay to talk in the chat of a show he was on. Sad.
I mean, he didn't have to talk in the chat, but shout out to Real Talk.
You don't see him? They just continued their beef in the chat. You didn't see it?
No, I'm actively participating in the show instead of being in the chat.
That is participating in the show. The chat is the show, Ron. But you know what?
The reason I'm up here is just for the chat.
Ron, you could have de-escalated. You know what I'm saying? Right now.
Was there anything that y'all needed to get off your chest?
He definitely did say
and then Rude put it off his chest.
Capers, you don't know Ron like I know Ron. When he asked that question, not to de-escalate.
That's not de-escalate.
Exactly.
We are a big family. Does anybody have anything to say? Before being keyboard warriors, how about we be adults?
Ron is the dude at the dinner table. Like, do you want to talk about how he got your girl pregnant? That's wrong.
Chill. That's the way to de-escalate the situation.
No, that's not. That's the way to get the flip. That's the way to get the table flipped over. Knives is out.
That's the way somebody get somebody stabbed, bro.
That's a better way to flip over the table than the way it got flipped over.
Oh my God. Anyway, Ron, where were we? This is where we were.
MTHJ301 said Hoop Nirvana. Ike Nwamo? I don't know who Ike Nwamo is. Quincy Miller, Kiwi Gardner, Terrence Jones, the one that gave Ox buckets, Gabe York. Shout out Jahi Carson, man. What y'all know about Ja? Derek Williams, unappreciated Dan Issel.
He going back and watching old Nuggets games, I guess.
Dan Issel, yeah. Actually, you know what? When I got put up on him, he was a baller. I didn't know.
Yeah, he was like a stretch big. Like he was shooting that jump.
He was your ass bust on the court by somebody that you don't know. Like, who the hell is this?
Yeah, he was cold. And you know who I didn't discover until yesterday. I was watching a 30 for 30. And they were talking about Scott Pollard's pops. I didn't know Scott Pollard had a pop. As a matter of fact, he went to Utah, right?
Scott Pollard, his father. I did not know.
Scott Pollard, I forget his father's name. I think
you don't know Greg Pollard?
Full name wasn't no Greg Pollard, bro.
You just said you forgot his name, and now it's not Greg Pollard. So what is it? Man, if it's not Greg, what is it?
See, Ron, this is your chance to de-escalate, bro. You don't got to do that.
Be True 23 said the Rosa Parks conversation was peak open gym. LOL.
Episode 112, man. It's probably still up on the platform. Open gym.
No, it's not. I made sure that was taken down. I de-escalated the situation.
That was a cool little episode.
The Trib One said Cooper's floor is a decent starter who is impactful enough on defense to justify him getting rotation minutes. His floor doesn't go lower than 25 minutes per game.
I disagree.
Like 25 minutes is a lot, yo.
Yeah, I think people underestimate what a floor means.
Yeah, that's a lot of minutes.
I think that's just a middle end outcome for Cooper. Like, he's just a starting level player. The floor is, I think, a lot lower than that.
You Running 5.7 has a 7-game series and wants to know who you guys got. Team 1, 2016 Steph Curry, 88 MJ, 21 KD, 20 Giannis, and 23 Joker versus Team 2, which is this year's SGA, 2006 Kobe, 2018 LeBron James, 2004 Kevin Garnett, and 94 Hakeem Olajuwon.
Team
James is the passer on that team.
18 LeBron, that team's winning.
Even though 18 LeBron didn't win. Okay.
What 18 LeBron? That might have been the best LeBron. Bro.
I would take team 2.
Team 2 is kicking the shit out of.
Yeah, I would take team 2.
What? 88 100%. Jordan, 16 Steph, and 21 KD.
Are you crazy, Ron? 94 Olajuwon and 04 KG.
I like the defense of team 2 a lot
18
more.
LeBron.
18 James, even though James. So we're talking about playoff James. We ain't talking about regular season James.
Yeah,
we're talking about playoff James. Even though regular season James was really good, I think he finished second in MVP votes that year.
He did, yeah.
Behind Harden, right?
Yep. I'm taking that too. I'm
taking
team 2.
Yeah, I think team 2. I like team 2's defense more. 2 elite ball handlers. I think team 1, you're leaning closer to 1 elite ball handler. Depends on how you feel about MJ's handle at that point. Yeah, I like team 2. I mean, I think they're both amazing, obviously, but I would lean towards team 2.
I think team 2, that defense is going to be incredible.
Yeah, you got LeBron without the largest offensive burden in like damn near history, so you got a more locked in on defense. LeBron. Same thing with Kobe. He's
Yeah.
Kobe's gonna have the lowest offensive burden he's ever had. Like that's gonna be more locked in on defense for him. Shea obviously can play defense, especially off the ball. KG and Hakeem, that's the best front court you can imagine outside of like Bill Russell and someone.
Just to
like,
say, Joker will fry KG and Hakeem, but they could work around that though.
Giannis will fry
Joker is
Hakeem
not
and
frying
KG.
KG and
Frying KG and Hakeem.
well,
Those
in my
with
humble
Minnesota.
opinion, 04 KG is better than 20 Giannis, and 94 Hakeem is better than 23 Jokic. In my opinion.
of course.
No.
Ron,
Yeah,
we
in
have,
my
yeah, but I
humble
got a
opinion,
boo boo.
so,
No.
that's my humble opinion.
As you were saying, Ron.
Pimp named Slickback said, how is Ace Bailey more skilled and tooled than Noah, I think, Asingwe? Noah Asingwe? 6'11", 7'4" wingspan, can do everything. He's even younger and has a higher ceiling.
I think that's where you need Penn because I couldn't tell you. I've only seen his measurables. I couldn't
Noah,
tell you about
I like
Who he
Noah
play for, Ron?
a
I'm
lot.
sorry.
He
Who he
plays
play-
overseas. He's
Okay.
French.
that's all I know. All I know is he
Hey,
plays
I
overseas. He's a
like
good
Noah
mentor.
a lot. Now, I never watched the game. I've just seen highlights and just seen ways that
He looks
gets
really
to it.
good.
He's not like
He's not Tijon Salam.
he's. I think he's way better, but he's not. I'm gonna just put this. I'm gonna put it like this. He's not a polished where he's gonna break you down and step back and hit threes and stuff like that. He's not that. He's more like a Giannis type of game, where he's impacting the game in other ways. Now, I'm not saying he's Giannis, but I'm saying that's like his game. But I liked what I seen. Defensive impact. He's tall. He's long. He can get downhill. Offensive rebound. Fast break demon.
France making a little super team, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not a small one either.
Corey Lemon said, "Who do you think would win in 73? Who do you think would win? 73 win Warriors or this year's Thunder? I have the Thunder in 6."
I just think y'all putting this Thunder team in conversations they don't belong in.
They don't belong in that conversation.
Hold on. What do you mean? Is this team better than the 16 Thunder team?
Is this team better than the 16?
I
No,
think
this
they are.
OKC team
I
better than
think
the
they are.
16 OKC team.
I think so. Sure.
The
I think
16
I
OKC
think
team had them on the brink.
I think a
And
few teams from
They had them on the brink. And
So
what
what do you
happened?
think this team would do?
Okay, so they had them on the brink. They lost. Right? So with that being said, this Golden State Warrior team, with the ball movement, with shot selection, not just shot selection, how good they were on defense also. Let's not leave that part out. How good they were on defense. And they were loaded too in terms of their rotation guys. They had 9, 10 guys. This is before KD got there. They were loaded. And I think they're better. Yes.
Nah, I can't.
I don't
go
know.
for that,
I'll just say I don't know.
this team will
Yeah.
beat that team in 7.
Yeah, I got this team getting their ass kicked by both of them teams.
All I know is 16 Steph is the best player on the court. That's all I know.
Whoa, no, he's not.
That's all I know.
He is not.
I'm not discussing further. all I know.
16 Steph Curry,
All I know.
25
All I
SGA.
know.
Yes.
What?
He
That's
All
clears
I know.
him.
That's all I know.
Yes. 16 Steph Curry
That's all I
clears
know.
SGA today.
How?
Yes,
if you
he
gonna have
does.
Caruso and Dort and all the boys switching on him,
No further conversation.
Mars further.
All I know
conversation.
is 16 Steph
Mars,
is the best
Mars,
player.
they had Steph in hell up until games 5, 6, and 7.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
What you
That's
think?
heavy
Steph
series.
Curry is the
These
best
are
player.
better
Steph Curry is
We
the
can
defenders
say the
best
same
player.
thing
that
about
team.
we can say the same thing about SGA. Denver had him in
That's all
there.
I know.
He
That's all
wasn't
I know.
playing against
Yeah.
them.
All I
Okay,
know
yeah.
is 16 Steph is better than 25 SGA. That's all I know.
No, you don't know that.
Hey,
I know that.
hey,
all I know.
Capers.
And Tootie's
SGA
on that too
finna-
because I'm running the poll.
SGA finna be in hell game 6 and 7. So then what you gonna say?
He'll be in hell game 6. He ain't gonna be in hell in game 7.
He gonna be a Helsinki vacationing after game
That's
6.
crazy.
Sick the Braun ass.
Shout out Helsinki. FA sent through a super chat and said, which team won a championship in this century with the worst number 1 player? So basically, who had the worst star that won a championship?
Tatum.
Was it?
Tatum was worse than Chauncey Billups.
Nah,
He
you
said-
probably have to say.
Well, I
Chauncey
think
Billups.
Ben Wallace was that
He
best
said
player,
century. He said century.
besides the point.
Okay. This century.
Yeah,
You-
yeah.
The
you
century
would
was
have to
since
say
2000.
somebody.
Yeah. No, he
It
wasn't.
would probably. I
He's
mean,
not worse than Johnson.
I would say it was probably whoever was the Spurs' best player in 2014. But
He's not worse.
Well,
than
you can
Johnson,
say
though.
that. You can say that.
that would be my pick. But I don't know.
Tupac Westside.
Rasheed was better than JT.
Al Horford had a better career than Giannis. Get the fuck out of here. I'm good.
Tupac Westside said, also, I hate to say it, but I think the
Giannis didn't win
Cinderella
no
story
championships in college.
might be over for Indiana. I'll take the Thunder next game.
I think calling it a Cinderella story kind of
That's
just.
where I was at.
I think it's kind of disrespectful. Like, I think they're a finals team. That's it. They're a finals team.
Jordan Reed said, "What are your thoughts on LeBron's comments on ring culture on the Mind the Game pod? Saw it on First Take, but wanted y'all opinions. So we're last.
I thought it was double talk, to be honest with you. And I'm a James guy. For all of y'all who know me, know that I'm a James guy. But you can't tell me that ring culture is toxic when you left where you were to get rings because you didn't want to be talked about like Barkley, like Malone, like Elgin Baylor, like Steve Nash. You didn't want to be in that space. That's why you went to another team to go get an NBA championship, because there's a different level when you're talking about guys who won as opposed to guys who different. And you were going to be talked about had you not won, like Steve Nash, like Malone, like Barkley, like all of those guys. So I think that's double talk. And I'm a James.
Chill. I don't think there's anything wrong.
I don't think that's double talk. I think that's him acknowledging the environment and saying he doesn't want to be held back, like in conversations based on that environment, and doing something about it. I don't think that's double talk. He can acknowledge he can say, I don't like the environment, but also understands he exists within that environment. And then therefore he has to do what he has to do to survive in that environment.
But wait a minute.
I don't like the way basketball discourse happens.
Sure.
Luckily for me, I'm not in the NBA. So I can say, I think this is stupid. LeBron can say it's stupid while also acting within it, because he knows he's not going to change it. If LeBron won no championships, he could still think ring culture is stupid. The issue is everyone will be like, oh, you think it's stupid because you haven't won anything. So unfortunately for LeBron, he's not going to change the conversation. He could think the conversation's dumb, but that's not going to change the conversation. So he'd rather just have the championships.
Mars, that's double talk. And the reason why that's double talk is because the reason why that's double talk is because you, as toxic as you think it is, you don't want people talking about you like that. That's
exactly.
Why you went somewhere else to go get
that double talk.
That's 100% double talk.
How?
Sure, I think he's just acknowledging
I don't
that
want to be a victim of the toxicity, so I need to win. I think it's stupid that this toxicity exists, but I don't want it to be at me. How's that double talk?
Well, wait. See, that's crazy. I think that it's okay to acknowledge that you participated in something toxic. I don't think there's anything with acknowledging the fact, like, yeah, I chased rings, but ring culture is toxic.
There's also that. There's also he wants to win, regardless of the conversation around him. Basketball players want to win. A lot of them.
And it can be double talk. It can be whatever. Chill. It can be hypocritical. I think it is hypocritical.
That's what it sounds like. You did the very thing.
But I don't think there's anything.
I don't really like drug dealing, but I'm a drug dealer.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's hypocritical.
But that's not what he's doing. He's saying, I don't like ring culture,
but I chase rings.
Yeah, but I want to win championships.
Because I don't want to be talked about like Steve Nash.
Yeah, Mars. That's the same thing as drug dealers as a drug dealer being upset with drugs.
Yo, fellas, I don't really like reading super chats.
The same thing at all. But yeah, go ahead, Ron.
I actually hate reading super chats, but you know,
that's literally not the same thing at all.
Andre Q said
pretty close.
PJ, Najee, Clay, D Live, Gafford, and Max Christie are all good players who will make Cooper Flag's job easy. That's 5 players without mentioning Kyrie and AD.
Yeah,
I agree. I think
Max
is a great situation for him.
Yes, sir.
Nixon 6 said, to be fair, Ox is a Kings fan. He's used to his team getting fleeced in trades, so it all makes sense.
I don't think that we get fleeced in trades. I just think we make bad drafts.
Thank you, 2K God. Thank you.
Or we just don't develop our players that well. I don't think getting fleeced in trades is what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, oops, not that one. This one.
Except for the Buddy Hield, DeMarcus Cousins and Buddy Hield, that was ridiculous.
If LeBron spoke down on players with no rings for having no rings and then said ring culture is toxic, blah blah blah, then that would be double talk. LeBron saying, I want to win championships, but I also think ring culture is toxic. It's not double talk. That's
because I don't want you to talk about me like you talk about Allen Iverson.
That's not double talk. That's saying I don't want to be a victim of something.
Chill, what it is, chill, is a health guru leaving a health seminar and going to McDonald's. That's what LeBron does.
No, but he still exists within.
That's what LeBron's doing, chill. No, we don't gotta have too much time for it. That's a health guru telling you, I think it's disgusting to eat processed food. Stay out of, the drive-thrus are killing you, and then leaving and going straight to McDonald's. That's what LeBron's doing.
In my opinion.
That's what that is.
The closest thing to double talk in terms of ring culture that I think LeBron has done is say, I think ring culture is toxic. You can't tell me Steve Nash, blah, 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 aren't great because they don't have championships. But then he also said the 2016 championship is what made him the GOAT. That's double talk to me. That's double talk. But LeBron saying, I want to win championships, I want to win, then also saying ring culture is toxic is not double talk. That's just
but Mars, Buddy need to stay up out that drive-through.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Pimp named Slickback said, do y'all know how easy it is to get into the Basketball Hall of Fame? Like, what are we even doing here? Of course, SGA is already a Hall of Fame.
It's not as easy as you think.
Easy. I don't know about
Yeah, I
that.
wouldn't say easy, but I would say SGA. If SGA would make the Hall of Fame, I think, if he retired, I think SGA would make the Hall of Fame.
If he retired right now, SJ is not going to the Hall of Fame.
Yes,
If he retires tomorrow night, I think he'll make the Hall of Fame.
Yes, he is.
There you
That's
go.
crazy.
He just
Yeah,
not.
if
He
he
might not be a
retires
first
tomorrow
ballot Hall of Famer, but he's going to the.
He'll
but he's
be
going
in
to the
there,
Hall of Fame. Yes, he is.
Trayvon Ray said, random question. Is Kevin McHale a top 10 power forward? There's the obvious KG, Dirk, Tim, Barkley, Malone, and then there's Giannis, possibly Draymond, Rodman, AD.
He was better than Rob.
What? Possibly Draymond? How does Draymond get into a conversation with Kevin McHale?
When I did the list a year ago, I had Kevin McHale at 9. So yes, he's in my top 10.
I think I had him at 8, Miles. I'm not.
So when I did the list, I had him at 9.
I believe I had Kevin McHale 5 or 6 on my
Yeah, you did. You had him above. I know you had him above AD. I think you had him above Giannis as well. I remember strongly.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So I think he's a top 10 player.
Shout out Kevin McHale stuff. Obi Toppin sent through a members chat and said Ron pulling ticket up with his ass out was crazy.
You was wild as hell for that, Ron.
I remember Chill left the moment he saw that.
You was wild as hell for that.
I thought I was
We're a clown
to
show
what
today.
I wanted to see.
We're a clown show today, so I'm out.
That was crazy, man.
I thought y'all wanted to see that. Nico said rings are important, but the culture around them has gotten toxic. Two things can be true.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you can understand the culture is toxic and then also understand you exist within that culture. And it doesn't make sense for LeBron to go on strike and say, hey, ring culture is toxic. So you know what? I'm just going to stay and rot in Cleveland to prove a point that, hey, I'm better than all these guys. I know I'm never going to win a championship here, but to prove how toxic ring culture is, I'm going to retire with no championships. I'm going to be the martyr for my career. Like, no, I don't.
I know it's killing me, and I know processed food is bad for me. But them McDonald's fries, boy, I can't get enough of them.
So what happened?
I don't think that's logical. I don't think that's double talk at all to acknowledge that I exist within a toxic culture.
Where would he rank?
Where would he rank without a chip? For me, he'd be wherever he ranks right now.
I think we'd be talking about him like we talk about Malone and Elgin Baylor.
No, they talk about him way worse. Way worse. Way worse. LeBron had no championships. He'd get spoken about worse than Kevin Durant gets spoken about right now. Way worse.
Yeah, I'd have him ranked below Kevin Durant. Yes, I would. Nixon 6 said, I'm in a heated debate with the Knicks fan, but I think it's a no-brainer to trade Cat for KD. KD is better on both ends and fits better. I don't care about age.
I would trade Cat for KD.
All right, y'all. And last but not least, I got a super chat, not from Obi Toppin, but shout out to Obi Toppin. I got one from somebody better. He's been a member for 20 months, and he goes by the name of One Butt. One Buddy said, why I get put in TO?
Timeout. He get put in timeout.
If what I heard was true, based on what Buddy was saying in the chat yesterday, you probably should have been banned. If what I wasn't reading the chat, but if what he said, if what I heard was true, then you probably should have been banned.
Should have put him in the corner. Tell him, put your nose in the corner and don't move.
All right. Well, y'all, it's been real today. We will be back tomorrow to, do what we do best. Capers, appreciate you for pulling up. Mars,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Merry Christmas.
Hey,
thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir.
Indiana is 7.
Okay, 7. Stop it.
Catch y'all in a bit.